Welcome back to the Odd Drunk Podcast. This is a very special episode. The day that this episode comes out is our year anniversary.
Yeah, June 11th. The first episode came out on June 11th.
And you've already seen it in the title, but I'm going to tell you again. This is Dad Rock 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Appropriately, we have Danny.
We have Danny right here.
Standing in the corner.
The Dodgers hat, because, And we have my dad. Would you like to introduce yourself, Father?
I am your father.
See, expect that kind of stuff this whole episode.
Yes.
No.
Yes, I am a special dad guest.
Yeah, we thought it would be good on this anniversary episode to have an actual guest.
We have a guest. We have a dad. My dad. This is gonna be good.
Although I do remember on the first episode,
Bill was there.
We did have Bill, and he is a dad, but he doesn't feel.
He has more uncle energy than him.
He has more uncle energy.
So, can we say your name, or are you just dad?
Let's just go with dad.
That sounds.
Since this
that
is
sounds
called
fun.
Dad Rock Electric Boogaloo. Have you guys seen Breaking Electric Boogaloo?
No,
I haven't actually.
One of the greatest 80s movies ever filmed, actually. It should have been won Oscar for Best Picture. I think it was nominated for Best Editing, though.
Yeah.
Possibly, allegedly.
I'm not really familiar with it at all.
Well, you need to check it out. It's a cult classic.
Yeah, we're just referencing It's Always Sunny.
It's Always Sunny. Charlie McDennis too, Electric Boogaloo, which they got from that.
Yeah.
Well, that's your homework, youngsters. Breaking to Electric Boogaloo.
I just want to tell the listeners that he usually doesn't talk like that. He's trying to be cool, but
I thought I always sounded.
Just be yourself, man.
Dad. I thought I always sounded stupid.
Well, we all sound stupid here, and you guys know that. But before we get started, I just want to say we're almost to 600 Instagram followers, so follow that Instagram. Go ahead, do it. It's not going to hurt you.
Follow the Instagram while you're at it. Go join our Facebook group.
Yeah, join the Facebook group, and we need more people. Yeah. And check out our Linktree. It's got everything. Yeah. All our platforms.
If you like the episode, go to Apple Podcasts, leave a review.
Yeah, leave us a real
review.
It. Before we really get into it, why don't you roll that intro?
All right.
It's the Odd Drunk Podcast, a very strange podcast, the drunkest show in the world. It's Jackson and Colton talking out of their ass. We don't care as long as drinks are poured. Sometimes we have our friends here. We will talk about anything. We don't care as long as we have beer. And if you let that whiskey ring. The Odd Drunk Podcast.
And there it was.
Wasn't that great?
That was great.
You guys actually did a really good job on the intro. I must give you two credit. You guys are kind of like.
I wrote that song and I wrote it in quarantine.
Yeah, that was mostly a Jackson
very
song,
humble musicians, by the way. Like most musicians are kind of arrogant, and they're kind of like, listen to me, I'm the best, I'm the greatest this, I'm this.
Oh, I definitely experienced those feelings.
Like,
yeah.
When I see a guitarist that's playing a song I know how to play,
and
but I'll
not the way you play it.
Yeah, I'll be
like,
I play that better.
Yeah, but you don't go up to him and say that.
I must say to all the listeners of the Odd Drunk Podcast, Colton and Jackson are actually very good musicians.
Thank you.
They wrote and recorded their little, I guess you would call it, intro jingle.
Jingle theme song.
Yes. I mean, I believe you guys need to, I've even told Jackson that you guys should also try to incorporate I'm not saying every episode, but since you guys are heavily influenced by music, maybe you should try to incorporate like a live acoustic duet,
you
of
know,
an original song.
I would
mean,
love to do that. I just don't think
It's a
our podcast
podcast.
is. I don't think our specific podcast is the platform for that. But we have talked about the potential in the future of doing spin-off episodes that aren't the Odd Drunk podcast, and that would be the place to do that. I think.
I got you.
Yeah.
But to all the listeners out there, these two are.
but I
actually
will say,
very humble, very good musicians.
Thank you.
I will say though, thank you. But I will say, the Dull Boys, our band, which isn't really anything, but we are, we are going to start recording and practicing again. So you should be hearing stuff from that. And when we have stuff out, we'll let you know. We'll link it. So you can check out our music. Because we have fun with that too.
It's a lot of fun, but we would also like to share it with you guys.
Exactly.
Yeah, I believe
ready.
you guys should. The world needs to hear Jackson and Colton strum a little 6-string guitar.
Well, that's really funny. You're talking
From
about
the Git Fiddle.
You're talking about music, because this whole episode is about music and dads.
Yeah. And
Well, dads are the best kind of music listeners. Wouldn't you agree?
That's such a dad thing to say.
I think so. Yeah. Before we get into the music, we should talk about what we're drinking
We're
tonight.
drinking.
Well, who should go first?
I think you
Because
should.
we're all drinking.
We're drinking the same thing.
Exactly. Listen. If you're going to drink beers with Jackson's dad, you're going to drink one beer. The one and only, the best beer you can buy, period. I mean, listen to me. You guys, I know you guys are into these little hipster, grainy-ass IPAs, pansy-ass, colorful artwork, flavorful, palate-tasting
I'll let
beers.
you finish, but I have something to say about
But
your
let your
comment.
father finish first. But there's only one beer that you drink when you want to really, really taste the Rocky Mountains. And you can taste the Rockies in Oklahoma, where I'm from, California, New York. I mean, you can taste the Rockies in Brazil. You drink not Coors
The
Light.
Andes are in Brazil.
Listen to me. Listen to
Well,
me.
no, he's getting to you can
Listen
taste
to
it
me.
Oh, I
through
see,
this
I see.
beer.
Listen to me. You don't drink Coors Light. You don't drink some pansy-ass Coors Seltzer. You
I
drink...
do agree with that.
Those are
Why would you do
terrible,
that?
yeah.
That's horrible.
Well, if you two didn't agree with that, I'd bust your head open right now. You drink Coors...
He's already had a few, just for you listeners. I mean, we all have.
Listen,
But, you know.
listen. You drink Coors Banquet.
Yes.
Coors Banquet, the original in the stubby bottle. And
Yeah.
Golden, Colorado.
Colton, I don't want to point this out, but you are drinking Coors. But
He's
even though it's in a
drinking Banquet.
can, it is Coors Banquet.
This is still
so
Coors Banquet. It's just not
Exactly.
in the
It's in the
stubby
can.
bottle.
I give
'cause
you credit.
when I was at the liquor store,
It's either 12-pack or two
Um,
6-packs.
they actually didn't have the stubby bottles.
Oh,
at
they
all
didn't.
Where
Yeah,
I
those
went.
so fast.
And it's a 12-pack, and it's like $11 for a 12-pack.
Exactly.
It's a very good
and
price.
listen, the thing with Coors Banquet, you guys got to understand this, okay? I'm not saying it's the numero uno top dog beer, okay? But if you want to drink a nice, smooth beer and you don't want to spend a lot of money, you drink Coors Banquet.
no,
you don't-
no, I agree.
I mean, some
I mean-
of these people I see like in liquor stores, and they set a 12-pack down on the counter, and it's like Busch Light, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me right now? I mean, or
What
like
about Montucky?
Keystone Light or Natural Light. I'm like, dude.
Montucky Cold Snack.
I'm like, dude. Work a little overtime, pay the $2 extra 6-pack, and get Coors Banquet. Okay.
Coors
That-
Banquet isn't even as expensive as a lot as the craft beers that me and Jackson buy.
Let me pull up our beer
It's
ranking.
not. It's not
Now
expensive
that
at
being
all.
said, real quick.
No, it's not expensive.
I have
I
a
mean,
question for you two.
Wait, I have a thing that. Wait, you said pansy craft beers?
Yeah, pansy ass IPAs.
IPAs. I hate to tell you, Dad.
Let me explain
Wait,
something.
wait, let me,
no,
let me
I'm
explain.
your dad. You listen to me. Shut up for a minute. Okay. Have you guys watched Cobra Kai?
I've not watched Cobra Kai,
It's a good show.
but I know he drinks Coors.
Okay.
Yeah, I talked about
Have
it.
you
Yeah.
seen Johnny Lawrence, the most badass motherfucking karate?
Well, you're really getting into this, aren't you?
Okay, but have you seen it or not?
Yeah.
Okay, what beer does the most badass karate?
Well, I would argue
No, just answer the question.
Daniel
This ain't no
LaRusso
argument.
is more
This ain't-
skilled.
This isn't a yes or no.
And
we're
he
not
drinks.
Talking, we're not talking about Daniel punk ass LaRusso. What beer does Johnny Lawrence
He drinks
drink?
Coors Banquet.
Thank you.
Only.
I rest my case. Mic drop. Here we go. All right.
Well,
Now, would a badass like Johnny Lawrence drink a pansy ass IPA? Seriously.
well, let me tell. Yeah, your comment about it being pansy. IPAs are way harder to drink than a Coors Banquet.
yeah,
Coors
because they
Banquet is
taste
smooth.
like they're harder to
IPA
drink.
is bitter.
Let me
That's not
let me
pansy.
tell
You have
what-
to be a
no,
man to drink an
Let
IPA.
me tell you why they're harder to drink, because they taste like shit. That's why they're hard.
Well, I'll agree to disagree.
Yeah, I like IPAs.
It takes
but
a man to drink an IPA.
I
Try
lo-
modus operandi.
Yeah, it takes a man with a really, really tough stomach to drink an IPA.
I love a good
Yeah, it takes
IPA.
tough men.
I will say recently I've been drinking less
Tough, real
IPAs.
men.
I've been drinking more lagers. I've been drinking more Kolsch's.
I'll tell you what's.
But I love a good IPA.
I like a good
but,
stout.
But I'd love a good stout, some Guinness.
It's not really a summer beer,
No,
but
no,
I still
that's-
love it.
I love a good Guinness. But Coors Banquet.
Guinness has only got
that's a pretty
130
good beer.
calories,
Yeah.
by the way. Guinness is actually one of the lower calorie beers, and that's just
Really?
normal Guinness.
Well, look, can I ask you
So
two a
drink-
question?
It's
Drink
only
more
a little
Guinness
bit.
then.
It's only like 20 more calories than White Claw.
Well, let me ask you a question.
And like,
real
why
quick.
would you drink
Can I
that?
ask you
Can we
two-
talk about how bad White Claw is?
Dude, I don't even know how to spell White Claw, let alone drink White Claw. Are you kidding me? Seriously, let me ask
Well,
you.
we can agree on that.
Let me ask you a question real quick before we get to the music, since we're talking about beers. And I know I'm going to be completely honest. One of my greatest friends at work on the railroad, Jason Hathcote.
Oh, he's way into crap beers. He keeps
Yeah.
on. Oh,
Or
wait, real quick.
or I believe
wait.
you guys named him Captain
Hathcote.
Captain
Yeah.
Halfcoat, yeah.
Captain
on a pirate
Hathcote
episode.
is a
Check out the pirate
very-
episode.
is a very knowledgeable beer man. Okay, let me
Yeah.
let me just say this. Okay, so I'll be the first to admit I know nothing about IPAs, but I'm going to ask you two.
Yeah.
You two get to drink whatever IPA.
Okay, an IPA.
What are you choosing?
I'm probably gonna go Modus Mandarina as my first choice. Scott Brewing.
A single IPA for the rest of my life. Can't drink anything
Oh
else.
wait, for the rest of our
Yeah,
lives.
rest of your
Mm,
life. This is the only beer you
Sierra
drink. The rest
Nevada,
of your
maybe.
life.
No.
Oh, that's not an IPA unless
They have the IPA.
They have their Tornado, but that wouldn't
Yeah.
be my chosen IPA. I like Sierra Nevada's Pale Ale, but not their IPA.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's because it's not an IPA.
No, I'm
Well,
serious.
no, their Tornado is a double IPA.
double
And
IPA. It's like way hoppier.
It's decent, but it's hard to drink. I don't love it most
If
of the time.
honestly, yeah, if I had to drink an IPA for the rest,
Grapefruit Sculpin,
where are they from?
California.
Mm.
Grapefruit Sculpin would be my go-to IPA.
Is it citrusy since
It's
all
a
grapefruit.
little citrusy.
I
and it's a
would
pretty
go.
smooth IPA.
I think our buddy Cheese would agree with me, or maybe he wouldn't, but he
Now, when
likes
you
it a
say
lot.
cheese, are you mentioning
Caleb.
Caleb.
Yeah.
The
But-
third member of what I used to call the council.
Well, he was the third.
Now,
member, but
he's
there's
the
four of
guy
us.
that's like
Five of
really,
us sometimes.
he's the guy that like worships Lars from Metallica, right?
He does.
Yeah, he
yes.
definitely does.
He
Yeah.
like has posters of Lars all over his
all of his-
bedroom.
yeah, he has
He
a-
like watches all Lars's instructional
He has
videos.
like you know those really nerdy like anime pillows that nerds.
He
sleep
has a
with?
Lars
Yes,
body
he has-
pillow.
He has a Lars
sleeps
body
with
pillow.
Lars.
Yeah,
So he's basically a Lars groupie, wouldn't you say that?
I would say that. Yes.
Yeah,
That
I
is
mean-
And see,
accurate.
he actually doesn't care that much for Dave Mustaine.
Yeah, because
No,
he
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 wants
thinks he's a
to
chump.
he wants to have children with Lars.
Like he
That's why
definitely
I'm-
thinks Metallica is the superior band to Megadeth.
Yeah,
Definitely.
he does think that.
And he doesn't like the Descendants.
No.
Not at all.
Not at all.
I don't know why he got that tattoo of Milo.
No,
I think it was like a joke, like a ironic thing.
yeah.
He probably lost a bet.
So he really
But
doesn't
yeah, what a
like the
loser.
Descendants.
No, he has a tattoo of Milo.
No, he
From
does
the
like them.
Descendants.
I thought we
Oh.
were keeping the like
So I
pissing
guess,
Caleb thing off going.
That being said, is like he's the one. Bump bump. That's a little Descendants joke. If you're into the Descendants and punk rock, you would get that.
They're Flogging Molly just announced their Salty Dog Cruise for 2022, and the Descendants are on the lineup.
I know, that's awesome.
Now, Flogging Molly, they're an actual band. I mean, they play music.
Yeah, they do actually.
Yeah,
play
they freaking play music. They've been playing it since the 90s.
They're them guys that like try to play Irish music, but they're a work in progress, right?
They're pretty rough still.
Yeah, I mean,
they're just starting.
I mean, they might get a few followers here.
I can only go with this joke so long.
You know, I'm just fucking with you.
By the way, I will say their concert was amazing.
Do you remember their concert?
The face-to-face opening? Oh yeah.
Yeah, we got one more drink here I want to talk about before we get on to the dad rock part of the episode. So I don't recall if it's
dude, you slam those down, don't you?
Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. Our nice audio software, Hindenburg Journalist Pro, will eliminate that.
Yeah, this is a great audio software, but you can go look it up because I don't want to talk about it too much.
Screw Audacity.
Screw Audacity. I hate Audacity.
Kept ruining our episodes.
But anyway, I didn't listen to our first episode before recording this, so I don't recall if we had this on our first episode. But one of the drinks that we used to have a lot in our early days of the podcast was our favorite rum, Plantation.
Sponsor us, please.
Thank you. Please. Yes.
And I will vouch as a guest, they are holding a real legit bottle of Plantation rum.
Yeah. So we're holding it together. I got a bottle. Yeah, we should get a picture of that.
Exactly.
I got a bottle of Plantation for this episode. It's not the 5-year Plantation like we normally get. This is the Isle of Fiji Plantation. But it's pretty good. You want to take a sip of that?
It's out of the Caribbean.
Tell me what you think. You've not tried this version of Plantation yet.
I have not. I love the artwork. We'll have to do a picture of that one.
I think it's pretty damn good.
That's incredibly smooth.
I actually like it more than the 5-year one.
Hey, let Dad Rock let Dad Rock review Plantation rum.
Yeah, take a little sip of that. And it's not a very expensive rum. It's about $24 a bottle.
I kind of like the little, almost like rope-like.
That's their seasonal one, their summer one, right?
Is it? I'm not sure.
I know they have some seasonal.
But yeah, that's their signature thing, that rope thing around it, the twine. Or
yeah, it's like an old pirate bottle. Dude, that's smooth.
Wow.
That's smooth to me. See?
Plantation rum. The Isle of Fiji's got a kick, brothers.
Dude, I think that's smooth.
It's got a kick, but it's pretty smooth.
Contrary to popular belief, just because he's old and he's my dad, he's 50, almost 50, we actually drink more liquor than you. We handle it that way.
I can tell that because Dad Rock must not be able to handle liquor very good. That has a pretty good kick. The Isle of Fuji, is it Fuji or Fiji?
Fiji.
The Isle of Fiji has a little kick.
I apologize to our Fijian listeners.
I apologize.
Do we have any Fiji listeners?
We had some Japan
listeners. If you're not
listeners.
listening in Fiji,
yeah, we had
need
some
to
Japanese
be
listeners,
right?
Yeah, if you're in Fiji and you're not listening to this,
shout out to our UK listeners. I've seen that's been kind of consistent lately. So
yeah,
across the pond.
We out of all the countries that the foreign countries that listen to us, the UK and Canadian listeners are the most consistent. So thank you for listening.
Yeah, and Australia, the Aussies.
So hey, you two, before we get started here, since you're calling this episode Dad Rock,
to Electric Boogaloo. Yeah.
Yes, I forgot. Dad Rock 2 Electric Boogaloo. I'm going to give you the greatest dad toast ever spoken.
There we go, guys.
And full disclosure, I stole this toast from a movie.
We steal all our toast from a movie.
It's a very famous movie.
You have to do your toast after this one.
How old are you two, actually?
I am 24 in a week.
I'm 28.
You're 28? My God, I'm
Yeah.
old.
Yeah.
No, you're not 28. I'm not that fucking old. Please, how old are you?
I'm 23. You should know that. Your son.
Yes, I did know that, but
both of our birthdays are on the 13th.
For
I won't say which
entertainment
months.
purposes, you could speak how old you were. Anyway, so you're both 23. But this toast is a very famous movie toast, and it has. If you guys probably will get it, but if you don't, that's your homework after the episode. So I'm very happy to be on the Odd Drunk podcast. I'm very happy to be invited here with Colton and Jackson. And my toast is a famous movie toast. So here, let's get the toast. 3 Coors Banquets.
Yes.
Here's to swimming with bow-legged women. Now, do you guys know what movie that's from?
You know, I've heard that, but
Fast Times at Ridgemont
I don't
High
know
or
it.
something. I don't know, man.
I've heard it, but I don't know it.
Well, then that's your homework. Here's to swimming with bow-legged women. That's my dad toast. So you guys can make fun of it. You can
do yours. Usurp
You
his.
can Google it.
Usurp it.
Oh, you guys are
From
gonna.
Jaws.
Yeah.
Oh, it's from
I,
Jaws.
I should know that. I love that movie.
I know that's like one of our favorites.
I
Wow.
can't believe I don't know that.
Before we start this officially, we got to do our toast that we do on the podcast.
Yeah.
Nice. I'm interested to hear this.
All right. Should pale death with treble dread. Make the ocean caves our bed. God who hearst the surges roll. Deign to save our suppliant soul.
There we go.
I have no idea what that meant, but I like it.
Don't spar with the seabirds.
That is
So
from
is that
The Lighthouse.
The Lighthouse? That
Yeah.
William Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe.
Yeah, well, it's
that guy that's like going to play Batman or something like
yeah,
that?
Robert Pattinson.
Yes.
Is that his name?
Yeah.
But anyways,
Yeah.
let's talk about music. Let's talk about
Yeah.
So
You said we're going to talk about movies now?
Music.
Dad movies.
Music. I got you.
Last night we went out for
Were you guys just burping right now?
Yeah, we were. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Revenge of the Nerds?
A long
More
time,
movies.
long time
Okay,
ago.
this
yeah.
isn't a movie episode. We're
Wait,
not a movie
since-
podcast.
wait,
I want
since-
wait.
Wait.
There's some people that think we're a movie podcast because our last few episodes were movie related or show related.
Well, I can't help it
We're
that
not.
you guys do repeat episodes. That's your problem. Since Colton burped, have you seen Revenge of the Nerds, the original?
It's been a very long time, but yes.
But
Yeah,
you
but
do
it's actually a really
know the
toxic
character named Booger.
Yeah, I know that character.
And you know what he's famous for?
Yeah.
Burping.
I don't remember much, but I remember that.
Well, that's another homework for you. You need to go watch
Okay,
Revenge
we're 30
of the
minutes
Nerds.
in when we haven't talked about music or dad
Well, I
rock
thought
or anything.
This was the intro.
Our intro normally takes about 5 minutes.
I will
so
say,
we're 25 minutes.
I will
this
say-
is
wait,
cool,
wait,
though.
wait.
I'm having a great time.
and I am having a great time.
So-
In the spirit of the first episode, Dad Rock, that did go on for like 3 hours.
So
Was it?
what is
So,
like a
It
normal?
was pretty long.
Wow.
It was
What is
almost
a-
that long.
Let me ask you guys. What's a normal Odd Drunk podcast time episode?
So we
Hour
try
and
to
a
keep
half
it.
to 2.
Yeah, we try to keep it under 2 hours.
We've gone
but
over 2 a lot. in
We
the
have
older
done.
ones.
We have done an almost 4-hour episode before.
We had to split it though.
a
yeah,
four
it was
a
hour
two-parter.
episode.
It was a
Yeah.
2-parter.
Yeah, that was a
Quizzes.
little much. Well, no, there was another episode. There's a Halloween episode, a Spooktober episode that was like.
Dude,
Oh, that was a good one.
It was like
I
3.5 hours.
That was a good one,
Hey,
though.
Yeah.
that being said, since you mentioned
Was it the Witches
Spooktober-
one? No, the Witches was okay.
I don't remember.
Oh, I know. It was the Slasher Showdown.
Oh yeah,
wasn't that one by Michael Myers, by the way?
I think so.
I think so. Yeah.
So what do you mean
Because-
you think so? So you have no
Well,
idea who?
what
won
I-
your
okay,
own
here's what I
slasher
remember.
special?
It ended up being Michael Myers versus Freddy Krueger,
Yes.
and my argument was Michael Myers wouldn't have a fear, so Freddy wouldn't have a
Yeah.
weakness.
Yeah, and
against
I
him.
remember I disagreed at first, but you convinced me otherwise.
Yeah.
We with a lot of our episodes, we honestly don't remember much of them.
Well, we're getting close to 50 now. Isn't that crazy?
See, that is one of the episodes that I actually listened to. Because you,
Thank you.
Yeah,
You're
thank
actually
you.
and
really
I
weird.
will say this, full disclosure, the Spooktober jingle / intro theme, very impressive. Very impressive.
That
Thank
was
you.
so fun to make.
How
That
much
was a
did
lot
you
of fun.
pay those two guys to record that, actually?
We paid them a 6-pack of beer, which
Yeah.
we drank all
Which was
Wow.
us,
ourselves.
because it was
Wow.
us.
Yeah.
Them two guys that recorded that are not bad, actually.
Well, I used my Electro-Harmonix organ pedal
oh,
to
wow.
do that. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
actually have pedals?
Yeah, I have pedals, man.
Really?
Yeah,
Nice.
I do,
Not
actually.
bad.
Speaking of pedals, speaking of music
Do
recordings,
pedals relate to music?
they do. Well, it depends. If you're talking about bike pedals, no.
Yeah,
but if
there
you're
are
talking about,
some pedals out there that are not music
if
related.
you're talking about
What about
guitar, if you're talking about pedals,
wait. What
that
about,
relates to geography.
What about What about petals of a flower?
That relates to botany. We're not here to do a botany episode.
Oh, you guys, what do you
That'd be
have?
fun though. We should do a
What do you
botany
have
episode.
against
So we
botany,
should.
Jackson? Jackson, what do you have
Get
against
high
botany?
and talk about flowers.
That'd be a total like left field
Do you
like
not-
for the audience.
I mean, I figured since you two like IPAs, you would be really into pansies. I mean,
Wow,
They're beautiful flowers. They are.
You're real funny, aren't you?
hey, that's got to be the most.
You're just here taking over our show.
Well, I mean, it's not me taking over the show.
Okay, I have to be aggressive host right now.
Yeah.
Music.
So last night we went for a few beers and we got started on our music conversation.
Yeah, so I have a question for
admittedly, I got a little drunk
you. You did.
and I had a hard time saving stuff for today.
Full disclosure. Can I mention something about last night since I was there? PBRs are actually not as bad as I thought.
Oh wow, I
a
expected
good-
you to
It's
just shit on them.
Well, let me finish.
Which I would have been like, that's fair.
Wait. Before you get to that, I have our beer rankings from our New Year's episode.
Yeah, let's see. Where did we rate?
PBR on design, it got a 5, color 2 because it looked like piss. Taste 4.
It tastes like piss also.
Total though, it got a 4.4, which is not good.
No,
but
that's
Coors
actually
Banquet,
pretty low, yeah.
Coors Banquet, okay. Design 8, color 3, taste 4.
Wait,
Alcohol content 6. Cool factor.
Wait. Hold. Slow your roll for a minute.
4 is like
Wait.
average.
Wait. Taste 4 on Coors Banquet. 4 out of what? 5, right?
Out of 10.
It's out of 10, yeah.
Can I spank?
Well, we had really-
Wait.
we had
Can
really
I
good
take my
beers.
belt off and like literally spank you right now? You're trying to tell me the greatest beer ever created is
5
a
is
4
like
out of
average.
10?
5 is like good.
Yeah, we
5 is good. 6 is better.
not a lot of beers got more than like 5 or 6 on their tasting.
We were pretty strict.
And like you said, we're pansies who like
But anyways,
IPAs,
out
so-
of the light beer, out of the kind of lager light beer category, Coors did win with a 5.8 total.
Yeah, we and that's 5.8 total.
So
I
you're
remember
saying
was pretty good
5.8 out of 6, right?
Out of
out of 10.
10.
But I don't think a lot of beers
Dude,
got
where-
more than like a 6.
Did you guys actually graduate high school?
Yeah, we did actually. I believe
Really?
so.
But I don't have my diploma to prove it to you.
I don't have my diploma.
It was
either,
so it ended
Well,
up
cheers to that.
exactly. Cheers.
a throwback to this episode. It ended up being a tie between Bat Squatch by Rogue Brewing, which got a 7.8,
Mm-hmm.
and then where is it? Barry Noir. Barry Noir got a 7.8.
I love Barry
Because
Noir.
okay, we had a really
very
biased
good
rating
beer.
system because we rated it on how cool of a place it came from.
Yeah,
also.
we didn't just rate on the taste. We rated on how cool the can was, which we gave Coors a very good score.
yeah,
on the can.
because we had the stubby.
And, yeah, we had the stubby
It's
bottle.
classic.
That's a classic bottle. Yeah. And even I actually got to say, even the cans are pretty well designed.
Exactly.
They're like thinner and a little bit taller than a lot of
That's
different
because it's the greatest beer ever created.
You
I
probably
do-
would hate it.
By the
But
time of this episode is over, both you two pansy IPA dudes are going to say that this is the greatest beer ever created.
I
don't think we're gonna say any beer is the greatest beer ever created.
What I will
don't think we'll
say-
ever figure that out.
Well, if you drink enough of any certain beer, by the time you get to that like level, it doesn't matter what beer you drink, it's the greatest beer ever
Well, don't you
created.
drink beer to have a good flavor?
Exactly. This is the greatest flavor ever created.
You know, I actually will say
It is a good. I mean, it's smooth.
when it comes to when I'm not in the mood for a craft beer, when I want something that's more affordable,
Coors Banquet is a good one.
Coors Banquet is what I buy because I do enjoy it.
All right,
Especially
PBR.
respect.
when it's
If you're being cheap-
when it's cold, it's very refreshing.
If you're being cheap, you get a Coors Banquet. If you're
the
being
bottles
like
and the
cheaper,
cans feel good in
No,
your
listen.
hand to hold.
if you're being
They're
cheap,
very
you get a
nice.
Coors Banquet. If you're being cheaper, you get a PBR. And if the cheapest, you get like a Montucky Cold Snack or
No,
old,
no.
old
If you're cheapest,
Bush.
no,
Natural Light.
not even there.
Or back
Natties.
in Oklahoma, they call it Natty Light.
Natty
You,
Light,
you know
yeah.
what? You know what I buy when
What's
I'm
the cheapest?
when I'm
Yes.
it's not the cheapest beer out there, but when I'm on a real budget, I buy Foster's because they sell those in those cans for $2.
those big
Okay,
ones.
okay.
That's an Australian.
Wait.
Aussie beer, but it's like American. They don't really have it there.
Wait. I know we're supposed to be getting to music, but
Yeah,
since
we've been.
the very handsome Colton mentioned Foster's. Okay. This is a dad.
Weird.
This is a dad rock story, and it's 100% true. My
Sweet.
best friend Jackie Brown can verify for this. Okay. The first beer that I ever actually got drunk on is Foster's Australian Lager. Okay. And let me tell you why. I'm 16 years old. We want to get drunk. And this is back in the 80s. There's no internet. There's no cell. I mean, I guess
There's
rich,
not anything to
I guess
do.
rich people had cell phones. But basically,
The government
what you
had the
did,
internet.
What you did, you got in your car, you got a few beers,
The
you
whole
got
computer.
a buzz, you turned on your favorite music, and you went cruising. You went
Yeah, and
cruising around, certain streets,
Wait. Can I say
neighborhoods?
we do not condone drinking and driving. Do not do that. You'll get a DUI. You could
Yeah.
get killed. You could kill people. Do
I-
not do that.
I don't drink and drive.
And if you
but
don't do that, you'll be a fucking pansy when you grow up. Everyone needs to do that at least once in their life.
I am
Tell
not.
Lar-
I am not admitting to anything on.
I
on-
disagree.
on,
Tell learn. Anyway,
but-
full disclosure. Me and my best friend Jackie Brown and a guy named Scott Marshall, who had a yellow 69 Dodge Challenger with a black
kind of a
vinyl
piratey
top, and another friend of mine, very good friend of mine named Hank Clark. This is probably like 1987. Okay,
Sounds like a movie to me.
it's not a movie. It's a real fucking story. Before you two were even born. Anyway, so we're going to go cruising, but we're going to try to get some beer. So we pull in the parking lot of a liquor store, all right, in South Tulsa, Oklahoma. So we have no fake ID, nothing. And we're like, okay, we got to try to get somebody to buy us some beer. So we're scared shitless because we're pansies. And we let like 4, 5, 6 people.
You love that word, don't you?
I kind of like saying pansies, yes.
It is a pretty fun word to
It
say.
is.
Johnny
it
Lawrence.
actually
Yeah.
flows very good. Pansy. You see what I'm saying?
There's some other
We're
words I
supposed to
very
use
much
big
like
words
to say.
on this podcast.
So finally, we say the next person that walks up to this
they
liquor
were
store.
they were cowardice. Big words.
Yeah, we kind of were cowardice, actually. So we finally say the next person that walks up to this liquor store, I'm going to ask them to buy us beer. Dude, I shit you not. True story. I get out of the car. I'm standing there by the door. No one walks up for 2 or 3 minutes. Next thing you know, this is no joke, probably like a 75-year-old little black older lady walks up down the sidewalk towards the front door of the liquor store. I finally grow a pack of nuts, and I walk up to her, and I'm like,
Oh wow, you finally grew 'em.
yes, actually, yes, I did. And I'm like, excuse me, ma'am. I was like, is there any way you could buy us some beer? And she literally looked at me and goes, can you not buy your own beer? And I kind of froze for a second, and then I thought, the truth will set you
This
free.
reminds me of a movie.
This is not a movie. My best friend
This
Jack,
sounds like an 80s movie to me.
it's
No,
not
no,
a movie.
there's a
It's
movie-
I
not a
I
movie.
believe you, but I'm just saying it sounds like the plot, like
Because when you
something
li-
that would happen in an
I-
80s
So
movie.
she says, why can't
life
you?
was an 80s
She
movie.
actually asked me, she goes, why can't you buy your own beer? So I kind of froze for a second. I finally just said, ma'am, I'm not even going to lie to you. I'm not 21 years old, but I have some money. I'll give you the money. Is there any way you could buy us some beer? And she goes, what kind of beer do you want? I say, I don't care. Whatever beer you buy, we'll take. She goes, yeah, I'll do it. So I handed her $20. All right, $20 bill, which in the 80s, that's
That's a good amount of money.
Yeah.
it's decent.
Yeah.
She goes in the liquor store. I'm like,
By
looking
value
over
more
at my
for
buddies in the
$1.50.
car. I'm like, yes. She comes out. I don't know why, with a case of Foster's Australian Lager. And that is the first beer that your dad has ever gotten drunk on. That's a true story. Foster's Australian Lager. Thanks to the sweetest, most beautiful, probably deceased now, African-American, beautiful,
peace.
older woman. Rest in peace. You started my journey on great lagers. That's all right. Now let's get on to
cheers.
the
Well, I'd like to
let's do a cheers to her.
Cheers
cheers to the woman
to the memory.
that started your dad
history.
on nice beers.
I'm being an idiot. No. Also, all our Aussie listeners, the two of them, but let us know if Foster's is like actually a thing there at all. I don't think it is.
I've heard it's not.
It's like
I've heard it's actually an American
it's like
beer for
an
the most part.
import.
Like I've heard basically.
Well, if it comes from Australia, it's obviously an import.
Well, what I've
But no,
what-
but it's like primarily an import. Like they don't have it or drink it there. It's like not a
Yeah.
thing.
what
Why
I've
would
heard.
you not drink Foster's in Australia?
Well,
They
no,
drink better
yeah.
stuff, I
what,
guess.
What
I
I've
don't
heard
know.
is Foster's is a company that started in Australia, but it's actually
It's based in America.
It's really an American beer company.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. Well, it gets the job done, is all I know.
I just when I'm super broke and I'm at the liquor store, instead of buying a 6-pack of cheap beer for like $6 or $7, I go and buy the big can of Foster's.
Settle down.
Of Foster's for like $2 or $3. But anyway,
I can turn this podcast around.
we're
at
gonna
any
take
point.
a really quick break and we'll be back
Somebody has
in
to pee.
lickety split. Yeah,
Yeah.
I do.
Okay.
And we'll be back in just a moment. You won't even notice it.
And we are back with the Odd Drunk Podcast.
Yeah,
We
sorry
took a
about
little,
that.
Took a little break. Had to go number one.
It happens. Yeah, we do that every once in a while.
But you can keep telling the stories, Dad. But we're gonna get into the music, the dad rock stuff, because this is what the episode is about.
Oh, it's
Um,
called Dad Rock?
It's
Yeah.
Dad Rock 2 Electric Boogaloo.
That's what
we're-
baby.
That's what we're titling the episode. Dad Rock 2, Electric Boogaloo.
But you don't even need to listen to this point to know that. But still, listen to this point. Download it. Please. It's nice. Leave us a review. Do all that stuff. But we are here. And I have my first question for you, Dad. What?
An actual question?
What was the first record, album, whatever, that you bought with
Ooh, that's
your
a-
money?
That's a good question.
Your money.
So, okay. You mean actually bought with my money, like I saved up?
Well, you can do the one that...
it can be
You can do the first one you acquired, and then you can do the one that you bought with your money.
Okay, well, let's just
Yeah.
go. Okay,
because they could both be good. Yeah.
exactly. All right. The first, it wasn't an album, it was a cassette tape. But the first,
Well, that can be an album.
yes, the first actual album that I saved
Depends on your
up
terminology, basically.
and I bought with my own money is Def Leppard Pyromania.
I know that one.
Oh, yeah.
I do believe I mentioned that way back when we started. Def Leppard.
Def Leppard Pyromania is actually the first album that I ever
Hair metal.
No, what? No.
They
no,
are.
No, no.
But they're
no,
one of the good ones.
No. They're not hair metal. Okay.
Glam rock.
No, they're not glam rock.
No, I actually wouldn't classify
just
them
playing with
quite
you.
as either.
No.
I think they're the
no.
predecessors.
Well, they definitely fall in the hair metal category.
No, they're
Yeah.
not hair
if you have to
metal.
put them in a category.
No.
Well,
no.
the thing is, I actually
No.
don't consider hair metal a genre. I consider it a style. But you can play music that a hair metal band would play
Hard
and
rock.
not be hair metal.
Okay, but let me explain something to you. There is hair metal like Poison, Warrant, Firehouse.
What do you think of the Scorpions?
They're decent. But let me get back to
Twisted Sister.
to your original
Twisted Sister, that's like glam rock.
to your
Yeah.
original question. Def Leppard Pyromania they are not hair metal. They're hard ass, badass rock and roll.
I love Def Leppard. Yeah.
Fooling, Rock of Ages, Photograph.
Rock of Ages
No,
is
that's-
hair metal.
Now I have a question for you.
No, Rock of Ages is not hair metal.
No, I have a question for you because this is a band I really like, but I'm not super familiar with this general 70s and 80s hard rock.
Yes.
Basically, I don't listen to a lot of it. Does Quiet Riot fit into the same category as Def Leppard, or are they different? Because I love Quiet Riot.
Okay, okay. How can I explain this? Just to be as honest as I can be on the Odd Drunk podcast, because this is the one and only podcast of all podcasts.
Of course, yes.
Exactly. I must admit, I liked Quiet Riot. Okay.
Liked
Quiet Riot
past tense.
Quiet Riot is an American heavy metal band founded in 1973 by guitarist Randy Rhoads, one of the best ever.
I love
And
it.
he joined Ozzy.
Randy
Yeah.
Rhoads was amazing. But back to your question. I did like and listen to Quiet Riot. But I must say now as a 50-year-old man, when I look back at my youth, like I still love Def Leppard. Def Leppard Pyromania, dude, I can listen to that shit all day long for the rest of my life. Till I'm 80, till I'm 90, if God willing I live that long. Quiet Riot, even though my little 12, 13, 14-year-old self really loved Come On Feel the Noise, it's cheesy ass metal, okay?
Okay.
But that being said,
I still love Quiet Riot. I think they're
I
great.
actually will agree with you.
I
that
really
being
like
said,
them. But
that's like
yeah.
I respect the musicians because believe it or not, I mean like 80s hair metal, they kind of get a bad rap. I mean, people kind of make fun of them, and maybe some of it's warranted by the way they did their hair, their makeup.
Yeah.
But just from a
They had some of the best musicians.
yes, from
Yeah.
a musician
Oh, yeah, yeah.
standpoint, I mean, great musicians. I mean, no disrespect. to any-
So, Def Leppard.
yes,
That was the first album you
that I
bought.
bought. It was the actual cassette, Def Leppard Pyromania.
Now, I want to go back a little further.
Okay.
What was the first album or band that you listened to?
Like the first album you had, but not bought with your own money.
And not just because, like, Nana was playing it, because you chose to listen to it.
Yeah.
Well, the only way I can explain this is
I know she listened to the Stones a lot and still
Yes.
does.
yes.
Love the Stones.
My mom, which is Jackson's grandma, Nana, as we
Nana,
call her.
yeah.
Okay. My mom was kind of like a slash between a hippie and a Hell's Angel biker chick, if that makes any sense.
I get you.
whatsoever. Okay?
I kind of understand
yeah.
what you're trying to say.
She's a California chick. All
Venice
the way.
Beach.
So
Didn't she say she saw Jim Morrison
Yeah,
like
she
drinking
did.
a Jack Daniels on
she,
Venice Beach?
She actually did, she did say
Back in the
She
60s?
did see
Wow.
Jim Morrison and the Doors and Santana and Jimi Hendrix, Janis
Way
Joplin.
back in their prime.
But my
and when they were
mom,
alive.
my mom growing up, like when I was a little kid in the 70s, like my mom never had the TV on. So like it was always music in our house. And my mom would be cleaning house or dancing or hanging out with her friends, but it was always music on. So my mom, like back in them days, like the stereos, some of the stereos were kind of like almost looked like a coffee table, almost like a piece of furniture.
Yeah, I've seen
They
ones
were a
from-
piece of furniture.
Yeah.
So like
I
when
kind
you-
of want one.
yeah, so like when you looked at it, it kind of looked like a piece of furniture.
Well, I had a
but-
teacher in middle school. He had an old TV from like the 70s. You know, the big wood block of a
Yeah.
TV, the tube.
yes.
He had it emptied out, and he like stored all his console in there and his
Oh,
games.
that's
in
cool. I've seen people make mini bars out of that sort
Yeah.
of stuff. I feel like that's something we have better sound equipment nowadays, but I feel like we've lost a little bit of that style.
Exactly.
That they
because
used to
We have lost the
You
style.
know
Same
what?
thing goes for like
Okay.
cars.
well, it's
Yeah.
it's kind
They're
of
more
like,
about being practical and safe.
Although cars are getting a little better, it was just like the 2000s and
The 2020s is starting to be
yeah,
a renaissance.
2000s, early 2010s that they kind
Oh,
of
2000s vehicles.
Then a little bit in the 90s.
Well, back to what you guys were saying. My mom had this like big, it almost looked like a coffee table piece of furniture / thing. And when you open up the top of it, inside of it was a record player. It was an actual stereo system, okay? So even though I would hear my mom listening to music, and like back then in the 70s, my mom like loves the Rolling Stones. And I know you have a tattoo.
yeah,
of the
I have a
Rolling
Stones
Stone
tattoo on my
on your
forearm
forearm,
here.
which is a beautiful
This
tattoo.
fun fact here, I have a bunch of music notes for
But
you
my
listening.
mom-
Going around
And I mean-
here. These music notes are the guitar solo from "Sympathy for the Devil."
Wow, nice. Very nice. It is an exquisite tattoo, I must say, to
Thank
the
you.
listeners. out
Quite
there.
exquisite.
But my mom,
Now we're using
my
our big
mom
words.
was really into the Rolling Stones, and she listened to the Beatles and Jimi Hendrix, the Doors, and she always had music on. So I grew up listening to my mom's music, which my mom, you know, listened to everything besides basically country and Western. But one day when my mom was gone, and I mean, this wasn't the first rock and roll thing I'd ever heard per se, because like I said, I would listen to my mom's music, and my mom would have parties and shit, and like she'd tell me and my sister to go to bed. She'd be up partying. Nana was a partier, you know.
Nana was wild for a
Yes.
while.
But one day my mom was gone. Okay. I think I was like 11 years old. And I opened up the cabinet of her record player, and I even though I had heard this stuff, I didn't necessarily know like what the albums looked like per se, you know, because that's one thing about vinyl records, which I will say, Jackson, you do have a pretty good collection of vinyl.
Thank you.
He's a better collection than I do.
But when you're a kid, you know, when I was like 11 years old, I could pull out the vinyl records, and I didn't necessarily look at the cover and know, oh, wow, that's blah, blah, blah. So I pull out the cover and I put the record on, and the first actual rock and roll song by myself that kind of like hit me, and I mean, I still love it today, and it drew me in, is Led Zeppelin, Black Dog.
oh,
Number
okay.
4.
wow,
Hey,
Led
hey,
Zeppelin
mama.
4.
beautiful.
I mean, Led Zeppelin, Black Dog. When I heard that, I've been hooked on rock and
That's
roll.
what you knew.
You want to know what
I've
pops
been
into my
hooked on rock and roll ever since.
a really interesting? Oh
Oh
yeah, that was the first Zeppelin song I learned on guitar.
Yeah, it's a
not
good one.
very well, but I tried.
So I put that on. I don't even know it's called Black Dog. All I know is it fucking rocks. And ever since then, I've been hooked on rock and roll.
You know, that story reminds me or makes me think of, you know, you talk about, you know, Nana and this music that she listened to versus like my parents. I got my music taste from my parents. My dad was a punk guy in
Yes.
the 60s and 70s and the West Coast in California. He also got his class. He introduced me to classic rock. My mom got me into new wave stuff, a little bit of punk
Talking
as well.
Heads.
Talking Heads, a little bit of country
Full
as well.
disclosure.
Blondie.
Full disclosure, he is wearing
Elvis
a
Costello.
Stop Making Sense
He is wearing a
t-shirt
Talking
right
Head
now,
shirt.
Yeah.
which is one of the greatest concert films ever created.
Oh, it's amazing.
Direct,
She-
hey, just a little tidbit of useless information, and you guys
Fun
see
fact
me right
time.
here. I have no
No,
computer in
no,
front
no,
of
no.
me.
You said it. Useless information time.
But
I like
it's
that.
But it's information, and you see, I have no cell phone out. I'm not internet cheating. Stop Making Sense. The Talking Heads, one of the greatest concert films ever made, directed by Jonathan Demme, who also directed what movie?
I don't know.
Wow, that's like you expect us.
That's not a director I know.
He
don't know him.
directed Silence of the Lambs.
Wow.
So
Oh,
the
very
Talking
cool.
Heads Stop Making Sense was his directorial debut, I
Debut.
believe.
Wow, that's very cool.
And this is, you know, kind of a dad rock, dad elderly type thing. But when you get in your upper 40s, I'm 49, I'll be 50 in November.
Yeah.
You got to do things to try to stay in somewhat shape.
Midlife crisis.
Yeah.
Okay. So I actually put on Stop Making Sense. And if you watch that concert film,
Oh, they're moving the whole time.
you'll know
They're,
what
like,
I'm
jogging
talking
in place,
about.
dancing.
You can actually do a workout to Stop Making Sense.
That sounds like a great time.
These
no,
peop-
yeah, it is.
These
I've done
people
it
are
Good way to
actually
do a workout.
jogging.
the whole time.
running.
They're moving the whole time.
They're basically playing the most badass, awesome music while they're exercising all at the same time.
I'll tell
Yeah.
you who could move a lot and do crazy stuff while playing badass music. Angus Young.
Yes.
Oh,
That guy
yeah.
was running around, jumping around
My
all the time.
God.
He had to be on speed, but he definitely was.
Yeah.
It was the 70s. It was 80s. But AC/DC Angus Young was nuts.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know what amazes me about Angus Young is the man.
But his
he's-
brother actually held the
He's
band together.
moving
I would
around
argue.
like that. He's flying around, and the guy never hits a wrong note.
He's amazing. He's
He never hits a
phenomenal.
wrong string.
He's a crazy ass
I
Aussie.
adore Angus Young. But what I was saying, what your story kind of made me think, how it's interesting how, talking about how your nana listened to Rolling Stones and the Beatles and things like that. And then my dad's grandma listens to classical music and Frank Sinatra.
Yes.
And my mom's dad listens to Jimmy Rogers, not the 50s Jimmy Rogers, the 20s Jimmy Rogers.
Oh, wow.
Country, the
wow.
Blue Yodel and all of that. Him and Marty Robbins and all those guys.
My grandpa
Marty Robbins.
I love Marty Robbins.
Big iron on his hip.
I adore
Yeah,
Marty,
big
Marty
iron on
Robbins.
his hip. And,
El Paso.
El Paso.
That is one of the greatest country albums of all time.
Out in the West
Um,
Texas.
I love the
down in El
old
Paso,
stuff.
I fell in love with a Mexican girl.
50s and 60s country.
Oh yeah,
That's kinda
I
like
adore
The
that.
Western
I
stuff.
mean, dude,
Yeah.
old country, my grandpa, Willie
Johnny
Nelson,
Cash.
Waylon Jennings,
Waylon
Johnny Cash,
Hank Williams.
Woo Pig Suey. A shout out to my wife who is from Arkansas. Johnny Cash,
He's from Arkansas.
probably the greatest Arkansas,
Ian.
yes, or whatever you want to call it, person ever.
Or
Yeah,
is it Arkansas? Let us
I
know.
believe it's
Arkansas.
I believe
We do have
it's-
some
I
Arkansas
believe
listeners.
it's actually
I think
called.
one of them's my uncle.
I believe it's
Uncle
actually,
Jacob?
I believe it's actually called Arkansans, if I'm correct.
Well,
Okay,
yeah. A lot of them are going to
yeah.
disagree
But
with you.
I just think it's really interesting how, like, looking at that lineage of people who listen to music throughout a family, like, you had someone in your family that listened to the Rolling Stones who was into rock, and
Well,
my
yeah, she
family
was a hippie.
My family didn't have that until my parents.
Yeah, my
Well,
grandma
I
was a
must
huge
admit,
hippie. I mean,
my mom, Jackson's Nana, dude, straight rock, straight rock and roll. No,
she knows.
Hell
mean,
yeah.
I mean, this woman.
And
I
Darren
mean,
got into metal for a while, but now he's into the blues.
yes, but my mom, like, I would wake up. My mom would have on Bad Company. My mom
Ozzy?
would have on. No, Nana was before Ozzy actually, but she would have on Bad Company. She would have on The Doors.
Well,
She
Sabbath
would
started
have on
in the
Rolling
late
Stones,
60s.
The Beatles.
She
would have
likes
on-
Ozzy.
No, Nana.
Yeah, she
no,
does.
no,
She's like,
Nana's not really
Yeah, he's the
Ozzy.
freaking Prince of Darkness.
Well, she probably had to listen to Ozzy because of me in high school, but she
Well, no,
wasn't.
Black Sabbath, though, started in the late 60s.
But you know how, like, when you're a kid and you have, like, little flashes of memories where
Yeah.
you can't really remember everything.
You don't
but
have a full memory, but you know a moment.
Image.
Exactly.
An image.
And
Yeah, an image.
For some reason,
Yeah.
I can always remember my mom, like, cleaning house, listening to the Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
Like, I'll never forget that.
That makes me think.
I remember that big picture of the Stones she had.
Yes,
in
in
her
her
house.
apartment.
Does she still
yes.
have that?
Yes, yes. But in my
Big
mom, I'll tell
framed,
you
like,
another
glass
story.
picture.
Another story about my
Nice.
mom. That's a true story. If I have a moment to tell,
Go ahead. Yeah.
that's it's totally related to music. But my mom was. I mean, obviously, my mom was always kind of a Stones person first. And she liked the Beatles, but her favorite Beatle was John Lennon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I respect it.
John Lennon,
I disagree,
everyone knows.
but
John
You
Lennon.
like George Harrison.
I'm a George Harrison guy.
Dude, George Harrison
Yeah.
is
Here's my
amazing,
thing. Can I say
okay?
something real quick?
Yes, yes.
So, yeah, John and Paul wrote 95% of the Beatles' discography. They were amazing. And I saw Paul McCartney live with you. That was awesome.
Sounds like a
But
great show.
It
yeah.
was
I
great.
would love
And
to
he
see
played
him.
like 3 hours without a break, and the guy's
He's one of my-
77.
I prefer George and John
So
over
there you go.
Paul, but I would love to see Paul live.
But here's what I'm going to say, though, about George Harrison. He didn't write as many songs, not nearly as many. But when he did write a song, it was like a masterpiece.
Oh,
yes. I mean, if you go
My
off,
Guitar Gently
you
Weeps,
actually
Here Comes
go
the
off-
Sun,
yes.
something. Like,
If you go off Spotify downloads, the
Here
top,
Comes the Sun is the top one.
The top listen
Beatles
to
song
Beatles
is Here
song
Comes
is
the Sun.
written by George Harrison.
yeah, and his solo stuff was great too.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I-
My
yeah.
Sweet Lord,
Yeah, even
And
though
I mean-
Bangladesh.
even though My Sweet Lord was, I think, unintentionally ripped off from another song.
Well, and
Well, the same chord progression. but
actually-
the
no,
melody-
same melody. Even
Really?
Oh, it's down to the. It's down.
and to
it's
give
really
George Harrison some
close,
more
yeah.
credit, even though my mom was a huge John Lennon
Still a good
fan,
song, though.
Yeah, I think it
Even
was
though-
unintentional. Yeah.
Even though my mom was a huge John Lennon fan, she always said that George Harrison was actually the best looking Beatle.
Oh, yeah.
No,
He is,
but
yeah. he
real
is.
quick about John Lennon.
You know, Mom actually liked Ringo when she was a kid.
really?
Yeah, that was her favorite.
Oh wow.
'Cause he was, like,
Ringo
cute
is
and
my
funny.
least
I
favorite.
love, hey, wait. I
Well-
love Ringo.
Well, let me say, Ringo is my least favorite when it comes to like if I'm judging him musically.
but
I love Ringo. He's great.
you have to.
Yeah.
I mean,
Wait.
the guy's personality, his spirit.
Here we
I
go.
mean, to be his age and
Wait.
Ringo Starr in the All Star band.
Wait.
Some of the musicians he's had with him.
Hey, I'm
I mean-
Ringo. Peace, love.
I like your Ringo impersonation.
Give me another
Let's
Ringo.
go trip on
impression.
LSD. Peace, love. I'm Ringo Starr.
But no, so going off of what we were talking about earlier about your first albums, I think it'd be interesting just to compare what Jackson's and my first albums were.
I would be interested.
Yeah,
to hear
because
that.
your
Yes.
first albums.
The first album I actually bought with my own money was a cassette tape, and it was Def Leppard Pyromania in 1983.
I love that.
Well,
I love that. And then the first album you remember listening to was
The
Zeppelin.
first album, well,
the first album.
that's the first song. The first song that kind of hooked me into rock and roll.
I think that counts.
Black Dog.
I think that counts. Though.
But I must say, my dad, who I don't have the best relationship with, and he's a great man. He was a Marine. He served in Vietnam.
Yeah.
But things happen, and I'm not judging him or
Things
anything
happen.
like that.
Yeah, things
but my
happen.
dad
That's a good way to
actually,
put it.
what's crazy is my dad, who's not really was into music as much as my mom. He actually had a very good vinyl collection too, and probably my favorite album.
He really does now. He bought like 900 of them.
Yes, but when I was a little
At
kid,
a garage sale.
wow.
I would listen to some of my dad's albums.
He gave me a bunch of Frank Zappa albums, which was cool.
and,
Nice.
And
yeah.
my favorite,
He didn't know who he was, but I did.
my actual favorite album when I was a child that kind of started me, like before Def Leppard, before I got into metal,
before that.
I got into rock,
yeah.
was the Beatles' White Album.
That's a good album.
Which, in
It's
my
a
opinion,
really good
you know,
one.
a lot
We
of
have
people,
opinions on that one. But,
a lot of people say Revolver, Rubber Soul,
Sergeant Pepper's.
Sgt. Pepper's are the greatest
Abbey Road.
albums.
Abbey
but
Road.
to me, the Beatles' White Album is my favorite.
Okay,
So-
here's what
and
I'll
I'm
say.
not-
You-
well,
you
real
go,
quick,
Jackson.
real
Let me
quick,
go, let
real
me go.
quick, real
Let me
quick,
go.
Real quick. I'm not even saying it's the best album.
Why?
but it's your favorite.
But for me, I would lay on the floor with no pillow on a hardwood floor.
White
and I
album.
would put on headphones.
Yeah, no, definitely. I would too.
I
And
understand.
I would-
There's a
And I
few.
would listen to the Beatles' White Album. In my
Here's what I'll say.
My favorite
There are a
Beatles
few albums
song,
that I
real
would do
quick.
that with too.
My
yeah.
favorite
I get
Beatles
that.
song, and I'm not even. It might not even be the best Beatles song, but it's
Dear Prudence.
my favorite Beatles song.
Dear
is
Prudence.
Dear Prudence.
It's a
That's
good
a
one. It's beautiful.
fantastic song. I
Here's
love
what
it.
I'll say,
I
though.
would listen to that and just the vibe, like it brought out emotion.
Okay, I got a podcast here.
But Jackson has a
I got a
thing to say
podcast.
here, and I
Okay.
think me and Jackson have talked about this a lot, so we
have talked about it before.
Jackson knows what I have to say, so I think he can summarize it.
Here's what I'll say. The White Album, yeah, it's amazing. It's got tons of great songs, some of their greatest songs. But as an album, it is not one of the greatest, and I will tell you why.
It feels...
In my opinion, it is a compilation. It's a hodgepodge.
Yeah.
They just recorded whatever and then put it on an album. And that's kind of the point of it. Because
No,
it's,
I don't want to...
white.
I don't want to... I don't want to dock it for
all
that.
the other Beatles albums before that had all kinds of colors, designs, cool stuff. This one's just white, has the Beatles stamped on it. It's not even like properly stamped.
There's a difference
crooked.
between
This album. It's like we just put out our music. You take it. You're gonna buy it because we're the Beatles. It's 60s.
It has some of their best songs though.
It has some of their best songs ever.
Absolutely.
Helter Skelter. It has
Back in the USSR.
I love Rocky Raccoon.
Brilliant.
So good, yeah.
Rocky Raccoon.
Yeah.
Blackbird. It has
Why Don't We Do It in the Road? Is that not the greatest song ever written that says
I
the
love
same
that.
thing
Say same
over
thing
and
over and
I
over.
love that.
Why My Guitar Gently Weeps.
But there's a difference between
Masterpiece.
There's a difference between
Rocky Raccoon.
When Prince did My Guitar Gently Weeps,
Ah.
masterpiece.
Prince,
there's a
man,
difference
respect,
between
respect.
an album that is ranking an album as its album, the composition of the entire album,
exactly. Here's my thing.
versus how many bangers are on it. And this is
Here's my
this,
deal. Yeah.
This goes into the same reason why I think if you ask someone what their favorite album is by a band and they say a greatest hits album, that is the wrong
That does
answer.
not count.
That does
That's not an
count.
album. That's a
That-
compilation.
That really grinds my gears. I hate it when people say that.
My mom, you said your favorite Queen album is their greatest hits. That's not an
That grinds my
album.
gears a little bit. Of course, it's a good album because it's the greatest hits.
Yeah.
But it's not the best.
But here's my deal.
album.
I kind of go back and forth. For me, spiritually, like what connects to me the most, Rubber Soul is my favorite Beatles album.
Really good.
It's like,
Yeah.
but objectively, Abbey Road is the best.
Abbey
Beatles
Road
album.
is hands down my favorite Beatles album.
It's a complete album.
I have a vinyl copy from
All the songs.
1969.
Yeah, he does actually. He has like one of the
I have one
second
of the
editions.
original ones.
Wow,
It's not the first edition, but
second
it's,
edition, I think, or third.
I don't remember what edition it is, but it's when they were printing it in the U.S.
Got it at a
It's a-
thrift store, didn't you?
No, Dan gave it to Railroad. Dan gave it to me as a
Dan.
birthday gift.
Well, he must have got it at a thrift store.
I mean,
No, but it's one of those editions where it's actually missing Her Majesty at the end of the line,
Majesty was a
but
very
not
good-
on the record, or it's missing it on the record, but not on the cover.
Oh, I
Well,
see.
So it's a specific
And
edition.
you
I don't remember
know-
which one it is.
my
lasts
deal
like 25
is
seconds.
when someone
Yeah.
asks me what my favorite album is,
Beatles
or-
album.
but
We're talking Beatles.
okay, well,
Yeah.
Beatles or whatever album, sometimes the favorite doesn't necessarily mean the best.
I agree.
No, I do agree.
Because hear me out on this. Real
Rubber
quick.
Soul is my favorite, but it's not their best.
Because a favorite album
Objectively.
is
How it
something
connects
that
to
might-
you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and there's
How it
also a
connects to
difference,
you. what kind of moment you're at in your life and how that album relates to
Well, I'll tell you, Rubber
and
Soul.
how that album maybe lifts you up.
When
and-
I started
and,
listening to Rubber
you know,
Soul, that's when I really started getting more into songwriting and playing acoustic. And it's a very
Yeah.
folk and
I am-
acoustic heavy
Rubber
album.
Soul is one of my favorites as well.
Yeah. It has
but-
some like
And there's also the difference between loving an album and recognizing it as one of the best. So, for
Exactly.
example, Stadium Arcadium by the Red Hot Chili Peppers is one of the most well put together albums
the mother's
ever.
milk.
But I
A
don't
Blood Sugar Sex
absolutely
Magic.
love the album. I just recognize it as really well put together.
That's
Yeah.
a double album.
It's
correct?
a double album,
Double LP.
but it's so well
One's Jupiter,
organized.
one is Venus, if
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah,
a
and
lot
it's
of
but
people-
it's so well put together.
Here's another
Yeah.
one. A lot of Pink Floyd fans would either say Dark Side of the Moon, that's the mainstream one, or The Wall. I disagree, but The Wall's really good. It's really good.
The Wall
But
is very
for
good, yeah.
me, Animals.
Nice.
That's
nice.
a good one.
That's the
I
one
respect that.
That
See,
hits me.
See, I love The Wall. and, like,
1977.
your mom included, and a lot of other people say, well, that's a depressing.
Wasn't The Wall 80? No, that was
that's a
79.
A lot of people say, well, The Wall's depressing.
Well, yeah, because Roger Waters.
But,
Yeah.
But I mean, some of the songs on the wall, like they hit you. You know what I mean?
Well,
do,
here's
yeah.
why
The Wall is very
the
good.
wall's so good,
I
and I
love The Wall.
need to get it on vinyl, but it's like $45, and every time I want to get it, I'm broke.
Yeah.
But the Wall is a complete album. Every song leads into the next. It tells a story. That's how I kind of rate albums in general.
But that's different from
if
your
it works
favorite
as an album.
though.
No, exactly.
Yeah. So like another one is
The Animals also does
speaking
that.
about the Rolling Stones. I think Let It Bleed is one of their most well put together albums, but Exile on Main Street is my favorite.
Yes, Exile on
Main Street.
Oh, I adore that. But Let It Bleed, I think, competes with it on how well put together the album is.
Okay, my mom explained this to me one time, and I mean it's kind of a generalization, but if you want to chill out and listen to just extraordinary,
You have more of
great-
that plantation?
If you want to chill out and listen to like extraordinary musicianship and just beautiful, incredible music, you listen to the Beatles.
Yeah.
Okay. If you want to party, if you want to drink
you wanna
Coors
party,
Banquet,
yeah.
if you
Yeah,
want to go
that's the
try to
Stones.
find go out to a bar and have a good time,
That's the
you
Stones.
put the
Stones.
Stones on.
I had
But
a,
no, here's my
Okay.
thing, though. The Beatles has songs that's good for that. But the Rolling Stones, you're always going to get that pretty much.
Yeah, I had a friend in high school that I argued with this about all the time. His name was Zach. If he's listening, he knows who I'm talking about.
Zach, we hear you.
Yeah.
I'm
And he would we would argue about the Beatles versus the Rolling Stones, and we would argue about it. And his argument, which is a fair argument, was that the Beatles, exactly that, were phenomenal musicians
composer.
and composers.
Exactly.
And then I would say, but the Rolling Stones were rock.
Exactly.
The
Here's
Beatles,
okay, no,
the Beatles were their own thing.
Okay,
Let me
what-
tell you. Wait.
What are
Let
we
me
doing?
speak. Wait, let me speak.
no,
Let me.
no,
Hey,
wait,
shut
hold
up
on for a second.
Wait, let me speak.
What are we doing right
wait.
now?
Let
What
me
are we
tell you.
doing right
Let
now?
me tell you something right now.
Colton, what did you just do?
What?
What did you just do?
I just said that the Rolling Stones are
No,
rock.
what did you just physically do?
Oh, I opened another Coors
And you did what?
and I drank it.
If you want to drink beer, who do you listen to?
I want to drink beer. Listen to the Stones.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Here's what I'll say though. I agree with that, but the Beatles, they're not just rock. You're right. There's so many things.
The Beatles are their
they
own
cover
thing.
so many genres. They
Just do their own.
they
their own
helped
shit.
create genres. They helped start psychedelic rock, prog rock, like all this stuff. Like they didn't just they started out playing just shuffle blues and like old 50s tunes, and then they like Chuck Berry and stuff, and then drugs. And then they started getting experimental, doing Sgt. Pepper's, doing Magical Mystery Tour.
Well,
and
it's really interesting because you
the
look
thing
at
of it is,
you look at the very beginning of the Beatles and the Rolling Stones, and you see that the Beatles, they were more rockabilly inspired. versus
yeah,
the Stones,
and I love rockabilly.
The Stones' first album was a bunch of
Blues.
Chicago
Hey,
blues.
Much like the
you
first
can,
the first Led Zeppelin album is blues.
yeah, but
You-
not just
well-
blues, but Chicago blues.
No,
was
yeah,
the
yeah.
Stones.
Chicago style.
You can
Yeah.
you can Google this. I'm pretty sure I read this one time.
I have another question coming up.
Okay, after this,
We should finish
Hit
the
me
thing about the
another
albums
question.
though.
after this, the first Rolling Stones.
Oh, like on our albums?
The
Yeah.
first Rolling Stones single was actually written by excuse me. The first Rolling Stones.
It wasn't
single
written by the
was
Rolling
written
Stones.
by the Beatles.
Yeah, they exchange
Yeah.
songs
But see,
sometimes, which is
everyone,
fascinating.
you know,
yeah.
And here's the
Everyone-
thing: they were
wait.
they were actually buddies.
Yes,
Yeah.
everyone thinks there's like a big rivalry.
No.
but they
they were friends.
you
Yeah,
know?
they
I mean,
exchanged songs.
exactly.
The Beatles
Yeah.
recorded some Stone songs before the Stones recorded them.
Yeah.
You know, and vice versa. Because
But-
in the early days, they were just friends.
So we're going by like the first album. Okay.
Yeah, the first album, two albums. The first album, you remember at least. Listening,
Okay.
like owning, and
The
like,
first album I
and
remember.
then and the first album you bought.
Well, the first album I remember was Beatles, Yellow Submarine. I watched that movie. I loved it when I was a kid.
Yes, you
And
did. You
Yellow
did.
Submarine is the first album, and it is an album. It's kind of a complication.
I hate to say
on
it,
an
but I
album.
think Yellow Submarine is one of their worst songs.
But it,
I don't want to piss
Well, yeah,
you
that
off,
song,
but-
Ringo. But they wrote that to be a joke song
yeah,
for the movie.
It's
But
it's fun for
It's got Hey Bulldog on it, which is one of their more rocking songs.
That is a great song.
But yeah, Led Zeppelin was the first album that I remember, that I can actually remember being exposed to. But you guys actually listen to a lot of Stevie Ray Vaughan and stuff, but not like a specific album, like his live
Nice.
stuff. And Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah.
I don't hear that a
Oh,
lot.
Nice. Yeah.
And I still love them. But the first album that I bought, well, the first CD I bought was Nirvana Bleach.
I remember that. I
Respect.
remember that.
And not too
Hell
long
yeah.
after Alice in Chains' We Die Young.
See, a lot of people. Okay, let me ask you two your opinion on this. I mean, because
Here we go.
Here we go. Like grunge, people limp.
They lump all these bands together in one category,
Okay,
grunge,
but to
which
me-
isn't really anything.
But to me, let me ask you two opinion. To me, Nirvana is more punk rock.
I
Oh
agree.
yeah, we've said that before.
I think we've talked about this. I think the most, if you were to say grunge is a genre, which you could argue that it's not a real genre itself.
Mudhoney,
Mudhoney. I think out of the
Soundgarden.
yeah, I was gonna say out of the more popular ones, I think Soundgarden is the most grunge. And there's of course the whole argument of that grunge isn't a genre; it's a movement and all that.
Well,
sort of
here
stuff.
I'll tell you right now. Nirvana is basically alternative punk. Really, they're just punk, but just different. But all punk is different.
Yeah. Nirvana, I think if there wasn't the grunge movement, Nirvana would nowadays be classified as just a punk band.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
but
so
wait, let me continue. Soundgarden, they kind of started off as like alternative metal, but I would say they're grunge.
Yes,
Sludgy,
Soundgarden probably is
heavy.
like the epitome.
Pearl
of grunge.
Jam is like neo-classic rock.
Yeah.
They have that classic rock vibe going
I've
on.
never heard it described as that, but I think I could see that.
No, seriously.
Yeah.
Like even like 10 is like classic rock album that just happened to come out in 90s, which some people consider classic rock now.
Well, since it's
Alice in
30 years
Chains,
ago, yes.
Alice in Chains, AIC, Ride or Die over here. I'm gonna get their tattoo.
I mean, AIC is probably more
Fucking,
towards metal.
they're alternative
They
metal.
are. Yeah.
Alternative metal is
Absolutely.
what I like to call them. And all the Lane Staley fans, I love Lane Staley, but he was a drug addict. He died, and Alice in Chains still lives on because Jerry Cantrell is Alice in Chains.
Okie.
the
Oh, he's so
songwriter.
good. Yeah.
Well, his dad's an Okie. He's from Bogey Depot.
Boggy Depot.
Boggy Depot.
yeah, too,
But yeah, and Jerry has a ranch in Oklahoma, a big
yes,
ranch.
Yes.
It was his dad's ranch, and he like expanded it.
Okay,
But-
can I ask you two a question now?
Okay.
Since you guys asked me. And this is more of a rapid fire. I don't need a whole explanation and everything.
Okay, good.
If somebody said, okay, you got specific genres or music groups you can listen to. Well, one of them groups is grunge.
Okay.
And you get to pick one artist from the quote unquote grunge era. Who are you picking?
I
to
think that's
listen to?
a more fair thing to say. Grunge era.
Yeah.
Who are
Yeah,
you
yeah.
picking, Colden?
Pearl Jam.
Okay, nice. Who are you
Alice in
picking?
Chains.
I'm a big Eddie Vedder fan.
Eddie Vedder
Dude.
is great,
Let me explain something. And this is,
but I'm always gonna
I'm
say Alice in
obviously
Chains.
I
older.
respect that though.
yeah.
In the 90s, okay, I was in college. And
Yes.
the first full disclosure, the first actual quote unquote grunge song I heard was Alice in Chains, Man in the Box,
Yeah.
which is a great song. I'm
Fantastic. Yeah.
yes, I'm not.
It's not
I,
their best,
I play that. I scorekeep for hockey games at the local hockey arena, and that's one of the songs. I have
Dirt's
on
their
the
best
playlist.
out. Well,
And
That's one of the songs I have on a
what I'm
playlist
trying
I
to
play
get
for the
at-
hockey
What I'm trying
games.
to get at is I'm not dissing them, but that's actual the first grunge, quote unquote grunge song I heard.
why are you trying to diss
But-
them?
What I'm saying is, for me, probably the quintessential grunge band is probably Soundgarden.
Oh yeah,
I
definitely.
agree. Yeah.
Because basically,
Well, Soundgarden was out in the late 80s,
and I'm not
even before Alice in
I'm
Chains.
sure I've stole this from somebody, and I apologize, but it's a great analogy. Soundgarden is almost like the Beatles meet Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
That's not wrong. Yeah.
Because you have Chris Cornell's lyrics,
Melodic.
which are amazing.
He's a fantastic lyricist.
And then you have
vocalist.
the heavy
and vocalist, yeah.
some of
tell.
the heavy sound of Soundgarden, especially like on Bad Motor Finger. I mean,
The first couple albums,
I
Exactly.
love Soundgarden.
late 80s.
but
I just
to your point, and what I was trying to get to lead up to that, if you would ask me in the 90s, who's my favorite grunge band, I'd say Nirvana, Soundgarden, 1A, okay?
yeah.
But, and I know, unfortunately, with the tragic deaths of Lane, Chris, Scott,
Chris
I mean,
died
Scott
recently.
Weiland, Stone Temple Pilots don't get a lot of credit.
But that's
that
Caleb's
being
favorite
said,
grunge
Caleb
band.
loves.
They're
yeah,
amazing.
Dude, I love SCP.
I'll tell you,
That being
Purple,
said, real quick though.
Purple is one of my favorite albums ever.
That being said, even though he's survived or made it or
Eddie.
whatever you want to call it, dude, Eddie Vedder is such a talented musician.
Wise.
I
He's
adore
such
Eddie
a-
Vedder.
He's such
Well,
a
he used to be like an
Well-
egotistical
well,
jerk.
he's such
Cocky.
A,
He used to be
he's-
cocky.
He's such a heartfelt.
But now, he's...
Yeah.
Dude, he's a humanitarian.
I
No,
will,
he really
I will
is.
also say this about Eddie Vedder, and this is just kind of defending some of the grunge guys who died, years ago.
Yes.
One of the reasons why I adore Eddie Vedder so much is because of some of his more recent stuff as well.
No, definitely,
Yes.
yeah.
So I like to imagine some of these guys who died earlier, that if they had not died and survived and went on to make more stuff, that things might be different.
Yes,
Oh, definitely.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
And then Jerry Cantrell.
Probably the best grunge guitarist.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, yeah,
But
hands down.
also great songwriter. He also does sing. His solo albums are really cool. But here's how I look at Alice in Chains. Like, you have the Lane era, okay? That's like what everyone knows.
Yeah. The classics of
Yeah, definitely.
of Alice in
But then
Chains.
you have the new era where Lane's gone. Now we got William Duvall, and he's great. I like
He's-
him because
He's underrated. He's fantastic.
he doesn't try to copy Lane.
Yeah.
He does his own thing.
I mean, I compare that to AC/DC, the original singer. I think hands down is better than Brian Jones, or what's not Brian Jones. That's Stones. Brian.
Bon Scott was the
No, but here's
original
my
ace.
thing.
Yeah, Bon Scott was the original, but the new guy, Brian
Johnson.
Johnson.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love Brian Johnson, but Bon Scott was so much better.
But no, here's my thing,
But
though.
think about, okay, let me ask you.
Wait.
Wait, real quick. Hold up. You two are musicians, okay? I'm not a musician, okay? You two are. Just
Yeah.
put yourself in Brian Johnson's shoes. You got AC/DC, who's got Bon Scott, who's already known as a badass hardcore blues boogie band, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Then Bon Scott dies, right? Then AC/DC, they tap you. They say, hey, man,
Chill
we
out.
want you to be our lead singer. And we got this music.
What a
but
weight
we
on
don't
your
have
shoulder.
lyrics, okay?
Yeah.
And then this dude comes out with possibly one of the greatest hard rock albums ever, AC/DC, Back in Black.
That's a fan.
Okay.
That's one of their
Can-
best albums.
90.
No. What?
Okay, but wait. I want y'all to
91?
put, since y'all are musicians, I can't understand this, but you two can. Can you imagine the pressure? If let's say a band signed you up, Colton, and they got these badass fucking riffs, they got these badass fucking
And that's-
musical jams, and they say, Colton, dude, we need fucking lyrics to this music.
That is one of the reasons
and
why
you listen to this music, and you're like, holy fuck, this is badass music.
That's one of those things where I.
So Brian Johnson, I dare say, Brian Johnson possibly was under more pressure than any frontman in history.
Yeah.
possibly.
So that's why I say Bon Scott is my favorite of AC/DC's frontmans.
Yeah,
But
the original.
God, I respect Brian Johnson because how hard would that have been for him to go?
What I was gonna say about Alice in Chains real quick, and then I have another thing. But you have the two different sounds, and the new era from Black Gives Way to Blue all the way to Rainier Fog, they have a different sound. It's still Alice in Chains, but it's unique. It's different. They're doing different things.
I respect that.
They're not trying to sound like Lane. They're not trying to sound like the old stuff. They're doing new stuff, and that's why they're still great and relevant. But if we're going to talk about amazing frontmen, you cannot ignore
I know you're
Bruce Dickinson. Iron Maiden.
Yes.
Amazing singer, amazing falsetto, can fly. He's a pilot, can fly his own planes, flew Flight 666 and landed it in Tulsa, actually for their tour.
Wow,
yes.
That's cool.
He flies his own tour jet.
That's
like,
awesome.
who does that?
No one. No one else does that. Just him.
And
That's cool.
On another note,
But I will say I can't remember his name. The original Iron Maiden singer, I did like his sound, but Bruce Dickinson is what made them Iron Maiden.
And on another note, dude, even if you don't like Iron Maiden per se, who hasn't wanted to rock an Iron Maiden t-shirt?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Plenty
so
of t-shirts.
Iron Maiden, when I was growing up,
Eddie.
was one of those bands that I didn't listen
Well,
to.
I got the Iron Maiden poster. In
I
my
actually-
room.
Yes, you do.
I actually, admittedly, until about I graduated high school, I didn't know who Iron Maiden was.
Really, until you met me and Caleb.
Yeah, I was not. That was not a band I listened to. I wasn't familiar with, but I knew a ton of people who wore their T-shirts, and I remember just being like, "Oh, these people wear their T-shirts," and I just kind of ignored it. And then I met Jackson and Caleb, and they made me listen to Iron Maiden, and I was like, "Holy sh!" It's one of those few bands where I was like, "Holy shit!" I was missing out this whole time.
And from a technical standpoint,
The dueling strats.
Yes, YouTube
Yeah.
musicians. These dudes are jamming speed metal per
They
se.
kind of
with-
pioneered it.
with
Yeah.
Fender Stratocasters.
Why not?
Okay,
Heavy,
It's a
crunchy.
I mean dueling Fender Strats.
yeah, that's before they had specialized metal guitars like Jackson's and Paul Reed Smith's and all that stuff, you know.
Exactly.
You had Strats, you had Gibsons, SGs, but
Okay, now let me.
I hate SGs.
Can I ask you?
They're cool looking,
Can I
though.
ask
They're
you-
cool looking, but I hate them because I owned one and it sucked.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I ask you two a question since you
Yeah.
two are actual musicians and I am not? Okay.
Yeah, go for it, man.
Colton, you first.
Okay.
I mean, just off the top of your head. It doesn't mean it's just off the top of your head. Who is the greatest guitarist in your opinion?
Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Jackson, who is yours?
Stevie Ray Vaughan is amazing.
Wow. SRV.
But
SRV.
man,
I mean, there's some really experimental jazz guitarists I
depends.
think could compete, but like I don't think about them very much.
Eddie Van Halen, you got to mention. Steve Vai,
Yeah,
Frank Zappa.
it's a really difficult question. I think just off the
But
top, when
one
you
that a lot
say off the top of my head, don't hesitate. My response is Stevie Ray
For
Vaughan.
blues, yeah.
Yeah.
But you'll make fun of me. But one of the most insane, technically crazy
Don't even say it.
guitarists
Don't
I
even
know
say it.
of.
No, don't even say
He
it.
can do
That
stuff
sounds
that
like you know what he's gonna say.
Yes, if you
This
say
guy-
it, hey, if you say
I'm gonna
it,
say it.
No, if you say it, this fucking podcast is
Say it.
over.
It's
Say
not
it.
because
Don't say it.
Say it.
we control the podcast here.
No,
I'm gonna say
I'm
it.
in control of this fucking
Well,
podcast.
no, you're not. Actually,
All right, I'm
one
in
of the
control of this
best,
fucking podcast.
one of the best
If you
guitarists.
say that fucking idiot that wears a Kentucky Fried Chicken
I'm
fucking
gonna say it.
bucket on his head, no.
We've
no.
talked about this guy
No.
before.
This guy is like a mathematician.
The dude is a loser.
Dude, the dude has recorded 200
I can play
over
guitar
200
better than
albums.
this
Are
guy.
you talking about Buckethead?
This guy, he can play all kinds of stuff.
Oh,
he can
God.
play blues. He can play prog. He can play math rock. This guy records an album every month. I mean, I'm not saying. Am I saying he's? I'm not actually gonna say he's better than like Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Dude,
Or,
if you say
but here's
Buck-
my deal.
if you
Here's
say
my
a
deal.
dude- wait,
Wait.
no. If you say a dude that wears a fucking Kentucky Fried Chicken
That doesn't
bucket
matter.
on the top
It-
of his head is better than Stevie Ray Vaughan, I will fucking knock you out right now.
no, you won't.
I won't because I love you and you're my son.
You're
but
drunk.
in general, if you say fucking Buckethead is better than Stevie Ray Vaughan, I will fucking walk out of this podcast right
I
now.
didn't say that, but I should be able to because
No, you
it's
shouldn't
a
because
debate.
it's an asinine statement.
But here's my thing, though.
Okay.
Here's my thing. Buckethead could literally play any sheet of music in front of him and like make it easy, and he's insane. But
Yeah,
I'm not
he's
gonna
insane. He wears a fucking KFC.
I've honestly not really listened to Buckethead very much.
Colton,
listen to Buckethead.
Let me
I'm
explain
serious.
something to you, Colton. Don't ever listen to Buckethead.
I'm familiar with who he is. Yeah, Jackson, you said your first album you bought,
Was Nirvana
Was
Bleed.
the
Nirvana
first
Bleed.
record,
first record,
first vinyl I bought was
Well,
actually
what-
Abbey Road.
Abbey Road.
But the
Oh,
first
that's a
one I
good- that's a
bought
good
in
one.
stores, not online, was Foo Fighters, the first Foo Fighters. The one that
Okay.
Dave
Is
Grohl.
that the one that has like the FF tattoo on the back
No,
of
no,
his
no,
neck?
no. That's the one with the ray gun
So
on
you're
it.
getting so
Oh,
specific
the
as
ray
like
gun. I got
buying
you.
online doesn't count.
Well, I'm just telling you my first one I bought in store
Okay.
was the Foo Fighters. I almost bought the White Stripes, but I got the Foo Fighters. It was the first one that Dave Grohl recorded all by himself.
Because the difference between the first album I bought with my own money online versus physical is very different.
Let's hear
Let's
it.
hear it.
Let's hear
The
it.
first album I bought myself online, it's the first time I ever bought with my own money, was Andrew Jackson Jihad. People who
AJJ. Now.
AJJ didn't.
It's not Andrew Jackson
the
Jihad anymore.
president?
Andrew Jackson.
It's a folk
Jihad.
punk band.
Yeah,
You don't know anything about
they're
it.
not
No.
really relevant to dad rock type of stuff. But
No,
people
I
who
don't believe Dad Rock understands that.
yeah, no, they don't. It doesn't.
You don't understand the complexities of Buckethead either.
But
And I never will.
It was people who can eat people are the luckiest people in the world. But the first album I bought, physical, was Eric Clapton's Slow Hand.
Slow hand.
I still have that record.
Okay,
It's sitting over there by my record
let
player
me
right
let
now.
me explain something. Since you mentioned Mr. Eric Clapton, who you can look this up, is the only 3-time member of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
He is. Yeah,
That is
the
true.
Yardbirds.
But when I
Yardbirds,
was okay,
Cream, and Solo. Yeah.
full disclosure, when I was growing up, I would hear people say, "Man, Eric Clapton, he's the best, he's the greatest, he's the best."
Wait,
guitarist."
didn't Paul have the Beatles, Wings, and Solo, or was Wings part of a solo one?
Wings is Paul McCartney's solo.
Right.
That's his band.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying about
Okay.
Eric Clapton, since Colton mentioned him, when I was growing up, everyone talked about Eric Clapton.
And he
okay?
thought he was bogus.
But I have to give the man his due. He
Yeah.
might be the most versatile guitarist.
That's
The
a very
man
good
can
way to put
play-
it.
The man can play blues. The man can play rock. The man
Blues
can
is
play
rock, essentially.
hard rock.
Yeah.
The man can play reggae. I Shot the Sheriff.
Although
The-
I will say I do not
the
like
man
his version
can-
of I Shot the
I
Sheriff.
like Bob Marley and
Well,
the Wailers
I
version.
love Bob Marley. One love, peace, man, peace.
Yeah.
One love.
Well, here's the thing with that album was when I bought it, I wasn't super into Clapton. I am now. I have since then come to really appreciate him. I bought it because
I like him, but I want to go out of my way to listen.
mean-
to
yeah.
him.
Well, I bought it because I was in a record store and they had the dollar bin,
Yeah.
See, he was in the dollar bin.
and he was in
Makes
the dollar
sense.
bin.
Wait.
I'm just joking.
I bought.
No, wait. Are you trying to say Eric Clapton?
He's a dollar bin musician.
Nah.
I'm just playing. I'm
The,
just
the
playing.
Eric Clapton Unplugged is one of my favorite
Take
albums of all
another
time.
drink.
I said I'm just playing.
Yeah, yeah. But
hey,
but
listen to "Living on Tulsa Time."
That. Merle Haggard. No, that's
No, that's Eric.
J.J.
Clapton.
Cale.
that's
That's
Clap-
J.J. Cale.
Well,
It's
J.J.
J.J.
Cale,
Cale.
which is from Tulsa, who wrote Cocaine and
Yeah.
wrote
Yeah.
Call Me the Breeze.
He worked with Clapton.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Tulsa Sound, it's called.
Yeah.
But I will say so Clapton. But the first album I remember having, so when I was probably kindergarten, and this is the earliest I have memories, really.
Back
My
to the
parents
early
bought me
2000s.
my parents bought me a CD player because I was the CD generation,
Yeah. Yeah, we were. Yeah.
and there was a
now we're
group,
streaming.
and there was a
generation.
group of albums that I had, and so I don't have a first album I ever listened to. I have a group of probably about 4 albums that were the first I had. The Ramones, self-titled.
Nice, nice.
Bob Dylan's Blonde on Blonde.
You know Bob Dylan has a song called Durango, right?
He does. I did not know
Yes,
that.
Yes.
He has like over 500.
Yeah,
so
he has
probably.
He has a lot of songs.
Yeah.
Okay,
that's cool.
Since
I'll
you
check
two
that
are
out.
musicians, is Bob Dylan the poet laureate of the United States?
No,
Music-wise.
No.
Music-wise.
no,
Really?
no. He's
Interesting.
close. He's up there.
Who is?
Pete Seeger.
Pete Seeger.
Pete Seeger, I think, represents as far as poet,
Now, Pete
musician,
Seeger, that's
lyrics represents America.
This land is your land.
Yeah.
I got you.
Pete Seeger. Although Woody Guthrie is
Woody
up
Guthrie,
there,
I
though.
would say.
Yeah. Woody Guthrie
Woody
competes with him.
Guthrie, Oklahoman.
Yes.
Yeah.
Look it up.
Love
No, I know.
I believe he was from Okemah, Oklahoma. If I'm right.
I mean, speaking of Woody Guthrie, if you're looking for some good dad rock, listen to Wilco's rendition of Woody Guthrie's songs, Mermaid Avenue, recorded with Billy Bragg.
Listen, if you mention Wilco again,
That's hipster dad rock.
exactly.
But it's still dad rock.
It is still dad rock.
It's still
no,
dad rock.
No,
it is. It is. But here's my
still dad
okay.
rock.
Getting back to core dad rock.
Yeah, but well,
David Lee Roth or Sammy Hagar.
Oh my God!
If you had to
Oh my
pick,
God.
Van Halen lead singers.
Oh my God! That's
I will say
so
Sammy
hard. That's
Sammy
so
Hagar
hard.
did have a solo act before Van Halen.
And he was in Montrose.
Yes.
okay.
But-
I'm gonna be
Okay.
okay. You go first. Yeah.
God, that's so hard. That's so hard. Okay. The only way I can come to grips with this is this. David Lee Roth in his prime is David Lee Roth, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
But-
I suppose. Yeah.
But
I think I know what you
Sammy
mean.
Addicted to
Hagar,
women, drugs.
Sammy Hagar over his quote unquote career,
The Red Rocker.
the Red.
He was one of our
Rocker.
first
Okay.
Instagram posts. I just want to say.
He
that.
was.
I might have to go with Sammy Hagar.
Okay. I thought I was gonna be controversial by saying Sammy Hagar.
No, because hear me out.
I'm gonna disagree.
David Lee Roth, like,
The most bad. Here's what I'll tell you.
okay, you
You
got
know that
Eddie
Van. Hey,
Halen-
wait. You know that Van Halen playlist I put together
yes,
for
the
you?
bangers.
Zero.
Listen,
Sammy Hagar is on there.
I know that. Listen to me.
David Lee
you're
Roth
on
is the most
Spotify,
rockin' Van
follow-
Halen.
I love David Lee Roth.
Follow Van Halen.
Van-
bangers.
Yeah, my
on
play.
Spotify.
Wait. You didn't sound like comprehensible, but if you guys listen to Spotify,
Van Halen.
Wait.
Bangers
Yeah.
by Jackson.
yeah, if you're listening to us on Spotify, check out Van Halen Bangers. That's my playlist I
No,
put together.
okay, hear me out. Hear me out
good
on
stuff.
this. This is my deal, okay? Dude, 1984, when I was in...
That's when they started going. The album 1984.
I know, but I got to relate this to my
The
time.
baby
Yeah,
on
well,
it.
I got to relate this to my
Let's
time
hear the
frame.
let's hear the story. Yeah.
Okay, 1984.
Jump,
all right?
really?
Jump, Panama,
God, that's when
Hopper
they-
Teacher,
Okay,
Top,
Hopper Teacher's good.
Top Jimmy, okay, Drop Dead Legs. It might be one of the greatest fucking albums ever recorded. In
That
the
one
80s.
might be more popular.
But hear me out on this. Hear me out, and let me
Van
get,
Halen
let me
number
get y'all's
one.
opinion. Hold up.
Van Halen 1.
Okay, let me get y'all's opinion on this.
Yeah, what?
whoever sings on 1984 is still a fucking badass album, whether it's David Lee Roth or Sammy Hagar.
So you're saying that, okay, just because of the songwriting, you can have anyone sing it.
Exactly.
Here's my deal. 1984 might be their most culturally significant album, but if you're gonna really judge Van Halen, it's Van Halen, number one, 1978.
But what I'm trying to say is,
you really got me to
Van
cover.
Halen.
You got Eruption. You got Eruption on it.
Okay. Wait. Pause that thought. You just said Eruption. Does Eruption have lyrics?
No, it's instrumental.
Okay, stop right there.
Because it was not, the band was not called David Lee Roth.
Thank you.
It was
That
called
is my point.
Van Halen.
That is my point.
Yeah.
Exactly.
When it comes down,
Colton.
when it comes down to it, no, I gotta. Let me say.
Go ahead.
I love David Lee Roth.
So do I. I mean, the dude had his
it's just
place.
when you ask
The
me
dude had his place.
and you put me on the spot, I would say I prefer Sammy Hagar.
You guys know what you're talking about because the Sammy Hagar, Sammy Hagar Van Halen, when it lost its balls, when it lost its rock, that's when it went soft. David Lee Roth was a rocker.
Wait. I ain't taking anything away from David Lee Roth. Have you ever heard 5150?
I have.
Yes.
That's no better than, I would say, Unchained. Guess who sang that? David Lee Roth.
But the point,
Mean Street, David Lee Roth. No, your point isn't coming across to me.
Let me explain something to you. You're not understanding. The point Colt and I am trying to make is Van Halen is called Van Halen because of one man, Eddie Van Halen.
I'm not talking about that.
Okay.
I'm talking about the
It doesn't matter
singers.
if it's David Lee Roth. It doesn't matter if it's Sammy Hagar. Okay.
Who would you rather sing
If it came down to it, I would say
in a
Sammy
live
Hagar.
concert?
Right now in 2021,
Yeah.
Sammy Hagar.
Well, yeah, David Lee Roth is drugged out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
You just didn't word your question right, I think. Okay.
yeah, well,
I've got one more thing, because we were talking about albums that we listened to, and I mentioned I had a few albums that were my first albums, but I didn't quite get to the first album that I consider my first album ever.
that you chose. That
And
you
I'm
bought.
really interested to see
saw
what
it in
you
the
think
store.
about this. Well, this is the first, not one I saw in the store, because I said that was Slow Hand.
I thought that was online.
No, Slow Hand was the one I bought in the store.
Okay.
AJJ was the one I bought online, but we were talking about.
But the first one that you
listened to and had. And I'm just curious to see what Jackson's dad thinks about this in regards to dad rock. Devo, Are We Not Men?
Devo.
What do you think about that?
One of the early 80s MTV staples.
definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not going to claim to be a Devo expert per se, but when
The
you're
hats.
But when you're 12 years old and you're watching MTV because there's not a million channels like there is now.
Yeah, there are.
Channels.
Yeah,
People don't
channels.
even watch that.
We have streaming services.
No, not even that. TikTok.
There's not as million
God, TikTok's the
channels,
worst.
streaming, videos,
Should
whatever.
we start a TikTok? Let us know.
You watched
Don't.
MTV and you couldn't wait to hear
We would have to get to a
Devo
really low
Whip
point.
It. Okay.
Okay. Well, Whip It was later than Are We Not Men.
I know that, but what I'm trying to say is that's what kind of put Devo on the map,
Yeah.
per se. All right.
That's what he goes by.
I really feel like, though, personally, I feel like that Devo, by the time they got to Whip It, they had changed a tiny bit.
Yeah.
They became a little bit less punk, a little bit more pop.
Exactly.
Pop
Well,
music.
Not in a bad
well,
way necessarily.
Well, as
But,
you two would understand, people got to pay their electric bill.
That's true.
True.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't blame him for that, but I'm just throwing that out there.
I have a cheap electric bill, so I wouldn't have to go
Yeah,
pop.
because you make everyone turn the lights out like 1 second after they're.
Okay, but here's the deal. Yeah, Devo's great. That's my deal.
Is that the deal? But I just want your opinion. Does Devo count as dad rock?
I would say so.
Yes.
In the right
yes,
context?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. That's the first time I can remember.
Let me give
Here's
you
a band that I think has transcended to dad rock.
Transcended to dad rock.
Wasn't dad rock originally,
Okay.
but I will say, and I love them. This dad rock isn't a bad thing. And when we first recorded that episode, people thought that we were making fun of bands for being
all the bands. All the bands we mentioned, we love.
Well, besides like Bon Jovi and like.
Actually, let me say I don't hate Bon Jovi.
Hey, let me explain something.
Bon
to you
Jovi's
right
such
now.
a joke.
Let me explain something to you right now.
I don't love him, but I don't.
There
hate
is
him either.
probably cheesy bands that I listen to.
But Bon Jovi isn't one of them.
You will never, and Jackson is my witness.
I am.
You
I
will
am your
never,
witness.
you will never see me listen to Bon Jovi.
No. What about Journey?
Have
though?
you ever heard me listen to Bon Jovi?
No,
Journey?
no. Fuck Journey.
I gotta disagree.
Oh
Now, if
no.
you would have said fuck REO Speedwagon, I would have gave you a toast. Okay, REO Speedwagon is the worst band to ever be mainstream in the history of music. Okay,
Wow.
but
Sorry, any REO
But-
Speedwagon
Wow,
fans.
yeah.
but Journey. Let me clarify Journey. Okay, you got
Okay, we better.
Steve Perry, awesome vocalist. Okay, you got, I believe his name was Neil Giraldo.
Yeah, he's good, but he's not.
incredible guitarist.
He doesn't have
Okay.
his own sound, though. He just sings good, but he doesn't have a unique sound.
But Journey was still cooler than REO Speedwagon. Okay, trust me on this. You got to trust me. All you got to do is trust me. Journey is a legit group. Okay.
I don't want to get into it too much.
Well,
But
anyways,
we're
before
short
we-
on time.
We're short
Wait.
on time. I don't want to get into
We're
the
short on
Journey
time.
bit.
We're short on time, so let me explain something to you. Okay. Let's go back to the 1980s.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's imagine.
I'll
it.
tell you the best
Ready?
80s band
Ready,
right now.
Jackson.
I'll tell you the.
Jackson,
We're going back to the 1980s. Ready?
Jackson,
Time traveling.
1980s.
But I will tell you
Boom.
the best 80s band, The Police.
Yes.
Dude, I love
Yes,
the Police.
absolutely.
I love the Police.
Best
Oh.
late 80s band, though. Late 80s.
Listen.
No,
Let me-
wait.
let me- wait,
Late
wait,
80s.
wait,
I'll tell you my favorite dad rock band right now.
Let's hear
The
it.
Cult.
Oh, dude. The Cult. You don't understand.
Yeah. Oh
If
yeah.
you don't rock the Cult.
Firewoman, She Sells Sanctuary.
If you don't rock the Cult, you don't rock.
Dude,
Plain
Cult's
and
one of the most
Okay.
badass
Oh,
late
yeah.
80s.
Yes. Okay.
I will say
British.
If you've
The
never
Cult-
listened to the album, The Cult Electric, you need to listen to that.
Oh, that's
I
immediately.
great.
have.
It's so good.
But let me explain
I
something
will,
to you.
I will
Let
also
me-
say, because you said The Police, on the record, Outlandos Day and More is one of my favorite albums
Oh,
I have that
great
album.
of
Great
all
album.
time.
Thank
Great
you for that album, Dad.
So good.
Next to You, So Lonely.
Regattas de Blanc.
Some
Yeah.
of the great.
The one with Driven to Tears,
Dude,
Canary in a Coal
Sting,
Mine.
Sting,
Yeah,
come
so
on,
good.
man. Sting, seriously,
Sting rocks.
Man. But let me tell
One
you.
of the best
let me-
three-piece bands.
Oh,
Since
yeah.
we call this episode
Right out there
Dad
with, like,
Rock,
Rush.
since we call this episode Dad Rock 2 Electric,
Boogaloo.
yes. A band when I was growing up that was the furthest fucking thing from Dad Rock, which now I would say probably are Dad Rock. U2.
My
You
mom
too.
was obsessed with you.
Well, we talked about this in the
Now
first episode.
Colton,
U2's more
being
of
an
a...
Irish man,
Okay,
loving
Scottish.
fucking Molly.
So I will defend you too.
U2 is an
Mom
Irish
rock.
band.
They are an Irish
You,
band.
hey,
yeah.
U2 in 1983, when I'm 13 years old, is the greatest fucking band ever created.
Wow. Well,
My mom, when I was growing up, we had
U2 and the Police are the two greatest fucking bands ever created.
in the 80s.
in 1983.
yeah, in
And
1980
Police was in
specifically.
78.
U2, the
So-
Police, Def Leppard,
And the
are
Police
the
have
three
that one
greatest
weird
fucking bands ever created.
Well, and the Police have that weird song about the sex doll.
Yeah, what's it
Will
called?
you be my girl?
Be
Will
my
you
girl,
be
yeah.
my girl?
Yeah,
what's wrong with having a sex doll?
Yeah,
But
that's what
that's
it's
a-
about.
but it's
I
a-
got
but that's
seven-
also
I got
one of my favorite
7 of them,
albums.
dude.
That's on.
I like Synchronicity.
That's a good
Number
one.
2.
Yeah.
About the
Another
Loch Ness Monster.
suburban family Mormon.
But then
Yeah.
many miles away.
Yes.
No, but you too. Their more recent stuff has not been very good.
Dude, stop
But-
slamming the table, dude.
But their more recent stuff has
Seriously.
been has not been very good. But their classic stuff, the 80s and some of their stuff into the 90s
I'm sorry. if
was
you
very
hear that.
good.
When I was in high school, me and my best friend Jackie Brown, who's
He's still your best friend.
Yes, he still is. He will always be.
I love him.
Yes, I love him too. But we would go out cruising and we would go what's called well, what the fuck was it was called? We'd knock down mailboxes with a baseball bat.
I know what you mean. Yep.
That's really bad. It's not the 80s anymore. It's 2020s.
Yeah, I know that. But we're
It sounds
talking
like
about
a lot of
we're
fun,
talking
though.
about dad
But we
rock.
don't condone it.
Anyway, there was one man that we listened to at number 11 on the
Ozzy.
volume. Ozzy
I know.
I love
Ozzy
Osbourne. Who
Okay.
was nuts. Who did like 7 drugs at once.
Yeah.
Speed,
the most
cocaine,
baddest
meth, marijuana,
metal
alcohol.
front man. He's the Prince of Darkness. Dude.
He is the Prince.
He's the Prince of Darkness, but I will say
Like Dio.
Jackson, who was the best frontman to Black Sabbath.
Jackson, if you say Ronnie James Dio, I would rip this fucking.
I'm gonna tell you to God the honest truth. It's Ozzy. It's
Thank
Ozzy.
you.
No.
You are officially my son.
But
No.
here's what I will. No.
Dio. It's Dio.
No, wait, Colton. Dio's awesome. He's the god of metal.
Yeah.
Ozzy's the Prince of Darkness. But here's my thing. Dio, I think he had a cooler solo career. But Ozzy.
That's true. That's
Well,
fair.
Ozzy had a really great solo career, no doubt.
He had
Dude,
some
but-
fantastic solo
wait,
songs.
let me tell you, let me tell you.
Wait. Have you ever heard of a song called "Bark at the Moon"?
Yeah, I heard about Diary of a Madman.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've
Have
heard
you
that.
ever heard of
That's
a
the
song
weirdest
called...
album cover I've ever seen.
Wait. Have you
With
ever
him
heard
in the
of...
werewolf costume.
Wait.
Ugh.
Have you ever heard of a song called "Motherfucking Crazy Train"?
Yeah, like everyone in the world has.
Yeah, everyone in the world has because it's a badass fucking song.
I'm not
Does
sick.
Ronnie James Dio have a song called "Fucking Crazy Train"?
No, he has a song called Holy Diver.
Yeah,
He has a song called
which is
Rainbow in the Dark.
Rainbow in the Dark is so
That's
fun.
Rainbow
Yeah.
in the Dark.
Killing the
Holy
Dragon.
Diver.
He has a song called Killing the Dragon. Who does that?
I will defend Dio all day. I love Dio, but
See,
I
Caleb,
don't wanna take
you
away-
would hate Caleb because he actually prefers Dio Sabbath.
yeah. Well, let me say this:
Caleb does.
that while I love Dio, I will be diplomatic about it and say I also love Ozzy. But Caleb would not be diplomatic about it.
He would not be. He would be fighting you.
That's just my personal preference. I love Dio.
No, I like Ozzy.
No, let me
Yeah,
ask you guys a question right now.
Yeah.
You're telling me you're taking Rainbow in the Dark, pansy-ass motherfucking song, talking about a rainbow, and Holy Diver. You're taking that over War Pigs.
Okay.
You're taking that
Wait,
over...
wait.
Let me
Settle
finish.
down.
Let me finish.
Geezer wrote most of the Sabbath stuff.
Let me explain something to you.
Geezer Butler.
Let me
Actually,
explain something to you. You're taking that over War Pigs. You're
Well,
taking
actually-
that over Nativity in Black.
Let
You're
me
taking
say
that over
something.
Sweet Leaf.
I
You're
have an
taking that over Paranoid.
Also,
You're
Sweet Leaf
taking
was
that
the-
over Iron Man. You're
I have an
taking that-
opinion about War Pigs.
Geezer wrote it.
Who gives a
War
shit
Pigs?
who wrote it?
No, we're
War
talking about
Pig?
who wrote what.
War Pigs. The intro is too slow.
I disagree, actually. War Pigs is slow and sludgy and brutal.
No, but the
Um,
intro takes fucking like 30 seconds to get through.
Ozzy, Black Sabbath,
It bothers
they
me a
created
little
metal.
bit.
He created metal with
Oh,
Black
I
Sabbath.
love Ozzy. I respect the hell out of him.
Dio couldn't be the godfather of metal if it wasn't for Black Sabbath
That's
and
true.
Ozzy.
That is true. Yeah.
But Dio cannot be denied. Dio is our lord of metal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dio could not have existed without Ozzy.
No, yeah, but Dio.
But Dio took it to the next level. I think.
Plus, we got to respect Dio. I mean, he's passed away.
Yeah. Rest in peace.
Ozzy's still kicking it somehow.
Somehow. God.
He should have died when he was 30.
How?
You know how else he's kicking it?
Because he's the Prince of Darkness.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
he has
he's
satanic
probably,
powers.
he probably sold his soul to the devil at some point.
Or no, the devil sold his soul to him.
Wait,
Wow.
real quick.
What
rapid
mind
fire.
blown.
Wait.
But Nyarlathotep
Nyarlathotep
is the boss.
I
You
know
rascal,
I know
you
we
rascal.
got. Wait, I know we got to wrap this up.
Have you listened to our Lovecraft episode?
No, I have no idea.
Well,
who
Nyarlathotep
Lovecraft
is controlling this.
I know we got to wrap this up. You two are telling me.
We didn't say anything.
No, I'm asking you right now. You're telling me.
We're just
that
saying Dio's like really
Hey,
good.
I'm not disrespecting Ronnie James Dio, but the man comes to you, the Lord Jesus Christ,
Okay.
and he says, you listen to Ozzy Black Sabbath or Ronnie James Dio Black Sabbath. Colton, go ahead.
Ronnie James Dio. No,
Colton,
no
you're a
disrespect.
lion.
No
You're a
disrespect.
lion.
So you're a Neon
Colton,
Nights guy.
Colton,
I
tell
will-
the truth.
I am an atheist. Jesus Christ would never come to me and ask me that. But if he did, I would say
he hasn't
Ronnie
been saved
James Dio.
He hasn't been. He hasn't been saved yet. But
Jackson.
Actually,
answer
Jackson,
the
I
question.
was saved. I was baptized, and then I decided to.
But you
to
were
say,
unsaved.
Fuck that.
Jackson,
I was unsaved.
answer the question right now.
Ozzy,
Thank
definitely.
you.
No,
Okay. No,
Ozzy Sabbath is.
Now,
I
got a
respect
couple, wait,
that.
I know we got to. I know we got to wrap this up. I got a couple rapid fire.
Rapid
These are
fire, rapid fire.
Rapid fire on this.
Throw it at us. Yes.
Throw it at us.
Colton.
Okay. Okay. You got it. You can do it.
Flogging Molly or Dropkick Murphys?
Flogging Molly,
Flogging
hands
Molly.
down.
Jackson, Nirvana or Alice in Chains?
Alice in Chains.
Wait. I didn't hear that right.
AIC, Ride or Die, no hesitation. Alice in Chains.
Respect that.
I guess this is rapid fire.
Rapid
It's
fire.
rapid
yeah.
fire. Keep it
Yeah,
going.
We're
Keep it
saying
going. Keep it
we're
going.
saying just what are on our drunk minds right now.
David Bowie or Elton John?
David Bowie,
Bowie.
all the way.
Queen.
I love Elton John though. I love him
Oh yeah,
so much.
I love
Hey,
Ellen, but
Jackson. Queen or Led Zeppelin?
Let me think about this.
I have an answer, but I think that's a hard one though.
I do have my answer.
I do have an immediate answer.
Go for it.
Immediate.
Here,
answer.
let me tell you. I love Led Zeppelin. They're awesome. They're classic rock. They're the rock and roll band. But
But you'd go with Queen.
significance, talent,
Ah.
vocalist, Queen.
I was the
Dude, are
opposite.
you my son? Honestly,
I was the
Queen.
opposite. I was the opposite.
I'm going with Queen.
I adore Queen. They're one of my favorite bands of all time.
Freddie Mercury.
But top of the head, put on the spot, I would say Led Zeppelin.
Dude, Freddie Mercury's the best rock and roll singer of all time. Period.
Colton. COVID is over. It's 2021.
It is.
Bands are playing again. What is the band that you have never seen that you want to see in 2021?
I think I know what it is, but it might
Never-
be too obvious.
Never seen,
that you've never seen but you want to see.
but I would like to see.
And they're really expensive. I know who they are.
The Rolling Stones.
Yeah, it's the Rolling Stones.
I've heard in their old age they're not as good, but
But still, you got to see
I
them.
gotta see them.
Man, when you have a the
gotta
lips
see them.
tattoo on your arm, you gotta see them.
I gotta see them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've not seen
Jackson,
them.
the band that you have never seen that you need to see.
See, they're not a complete band anymore. I would say Pink Floyd, but it would have to be if Roger Waters and David Gilmour could agree with each other and get back together.
Bands that are still together right now.
Yeah.
Alice in Chains.
With William Duvall.
Dude, William Duvall's awesome.
I've seen Alice in Chains with William Duvall.
Yeah, I haven't.
Your mom fell asleep during Alice
Yeah,
in Chains.
well, Mom
with
was
William
drunk.
Duvall.
Mom was drunk.
Oh, God.
So, I'm sorry, Mom, but you were drunk during that.
Why would you get drunk during AIC?
I know. Why would you? I mean, I would want to drink, but I wouldn't want to get blackout because I would want to listen to it.
Yeah.
No, seriously, though. I've seen Paul McCartney, which was already on my bucket list. Rolling Stones is on my bucket list also. But a complete band, I mean, it would be really awesome to see Ozzy.
Yes.
Before we leave, just one more question for all three of us.
All right.
What is your favorite concert? It doesn't have to be dad rock. It doesn't have to be anything like that. Your favorite concert you've ever been to. The one you tell stories about at bars type of concert.
Wow.
Your favorite concert.
Wow.
And we'll start with you.
You're starting with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Our guest of honor, my dad.
The guest of honor. And let me
Jason,
say, since we're
said
wrapping
it.
up, since we are wrapping up.
And just throwing out there, this is not shitting on the other concerts.
Exactly.
But this is just saying, if you had the top of your head, you're at a bar, and someone asks you what your favorite concert is, type of thing.
Okay.
What would you say?
Dustin asked you.
Yeah.
Let me before,
And he's kind of a dick.
Let me
so.
before I answer this say that I'm very honored to be a guest
long
on
episode.
the Odd Drunk podcast. You two are very, very entertaining.
Why, thank you.
And
But
I
you did call us pansies earlier. Can you take that back?
But that was pretty
no,
fun, though.
I'm not
Yeah.
taking that back, actually.
Wow.
You two are pansies, but you're entertaining pansies.
I would
being said-
disagree.
That being said, I'm very honored to be a part of the Odd Drunk podcast. And if you haven't followed the Odd Drunk podcast, please give them a chance. These two guys, besides being very funny, talented men, they're very good-hearted men, I must say. But to the question,
Yes.
let me put it to you this way, okay? The only way I can answer this, I've been to many, many concerts. We haven't mentioned basically a lot of them. But
Yeah, that's
that being said,
how that
okay,
works.
musically, let me put it this way. Musically, just for the straight music, Chris Cornell solo.
Acoustic.
Well, he wasn't just acoustic. He had a band, and he played all his songs from Soundgarden, all his songs from Temple of the Dog, his solo songs. He did a couple covers. It was at the Cain's Ballroom in Tulsa, which is a very famous, intimate venue.
Definitely. It's really good.
And just musically...
Bob Wills played there a ton.
Musically, no effects, no big video screens, just straight-ass music. Chris Cornell was amazing. Okay. Now, one of the best concert experiences, per se.
The experience.
Okay. I believe it was January 2002.
Wow, what an era.
Your mother and I.
Wow, yeah. I was
Your mom.
5 years old.
Yes, your mom and
Yeah.
I go to Dallas, Texas, Reunion Arena.
Yeah, I was 5'2", actually.
Okay, you too.
Oh.
It's less than a year after the 9/11 terrorist attack on the United States. Okay, and they play a song. Whether you two youngsters know it or not, you need to appreciate it. Look it up. Called "Where the Streets Have No Name."
I know
You
it.
too, yeah, that's a good
I know
one.
it. Yeah, it's a fantastic song.
They play this song while in the background on their video screen, they scroll all the names of the victims of the 9/11 tragedy.
Wow.
Damn.
So
Yeah.
just for a certain moment in time, per se, that might be the greatest concert moment.
I've
of my
heard
life.
U2 is very good live even nowadays.
Now, the
Yeah.
loudest concert ever, I was front row at Metallica, the Black Album tour.
Oh,
And-
ooh.
My
Caleb's favorite drummer was there.
My ears literally rang for probably about 18 hours straight. I did get to go backstage and meet and hang out with Green Day.
Oh, that's cool.
Billy Joe, Mike Dirnt, Trey Cool.
Back then, that's prime Green Day
And
as too. as
that
well.
probably overall, when you factor in the actual music, the concert, the experience, I would probably say meeting Green Day, hanging out with them backstage is my number one top
Definitely.
concert experience.
What about
Um,
you, Jackson?
Wolf Mother was really awesome. The loudest concert I've been to, since you mentioned that, and Mom can attest to this because we went together actually, but it was Motorhead, which they're really freaking loud, and Lenny was crazy. But Motorhead and the Foo Fighters. We were in the BOK Center, a big stadium, and we were way back actually. But my mom actually she made me put earplugs in because it was so loud. And she usually didn't really care about that, but that was so freaking loud. It like shook your bones loud. And it was really amazing too, seeing Motorhead for the first time before I even knew about them back then. And then the Foo Fighters, they played all their songs at the time, Wasting Light, which is an amazing album.
Oh, that's one of my favorites, actually.
Yeah. And then they played a bunch of Queen. And Dave was like, we could play Queen all night if we wanted to. And, yeah, that was amazing. And it was a really good concert. It's one of my favorites, and it was super loud, too. So it goes into two of those categories. Rock on Tours were amazing. I mean, it's kind of hard to say, but I think just for the experience, just for an amazing mosh pit, for the opening band, for being with friends, all this stuff.
That's the best. That is the best.
And I'm not saying they were technically the best or whatever, but Floggy Molly, the face-to-face opening.
That was so good.
At the Hollywood, at the Palladium.
The Hollywood Palladium.
We drank with your dad at that bar, and they had tons of beer on tap. They changed happy hour every hour.
They did $4 car bombs every hour.
And it was insane. And that concert was insane, and the mosh pit was crazy. And I remember you falling about all around. Caleb was wearing his Bill was wearing flip-flops for some reason. That was so stupid of him.
Wait a minute.
At a mosh pit.
This man wore flip-flops.
Bill wore flip-flops on a mosh pit.
To a general admission concert?
Yes. He did.
Yeah.
You need to talk with Bill again. But
he did, though. Yeah, he did.
that concert,
I know Bill is a very cool guy,
And see,
that surprises me.
at that here's my thing. At that time, I knew Flogging Molly enough. I listened to a couple of their albums. I knew some of their songs, lyrics and stuff. I wasn't like, you got me into Flogging Molly. But that was before I knew everything. But even before I knew everything of them, I had so much fun. It was such a great experience. And then at the end, where they played Monty Python, Always Look on the Bright Side of Life. And I heard they always do that.
They do that pretty much every concert.
That was so amazing.
And their concert
and just being in Hollywood and just that whole experience. That's my favorite concert. And
my first time seeing Flogging Molly was I had only ever listened to
definitely.
I'd only listened to one of their albums. That was Float. Yeah,
that's your favorite still.
It is still my favorite.
Still your favorite album.
It's
would
so
you say?
good. But I'd only listened to that album, and then my friend took me to a Flogging Molly concert, and it was starting there that I listened to the rest of their stuff. But my favorite show,
your favorite show
of all time, was Flogging Molly, but actually not the one that you were with me at.
Okay.
Although that is probably my second favorite Flogging Molly show.
Okay.
My favorite was with the
Flogging
Flogging Molly playing with the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones.
Nice. Definitely.
That was
that would be my favorite too
good.
if I saw it.
It was Mighty Mighty Boss Tones, and the band who opened for them was
And Dad, you know Mighty Mighty Boss Tones, right? The ska band, like the ska band.
I know your mom knows them.
Are they the ones that sing something about knocking on wood?
Yeah, that's
and they
the
sing,
impression that I get. That's the song you're thinking of.
Ruby.
Yeah. Mighty Mighty Boss Stones. And the band who opened from a Low Straight Jack, or not Low Straight, that's I just mentioned. They're called Mariachi El Bronx. Mariachi El Bronx is a band. They have two bands. They do a version where they're a punk, and they do a version where they're a traditional mariachi.
Nice.
And they opened and they did their traditional mariachi stuff.
Interesting.
And they were and that was a really good show. And the reason that stands out for me is because the banjo and mandolin player for Flogging Molly, as well as the guitar player, I got to meet after the show. And I went up, I took a picture with the guitar player, and I went to take a picture with the banjo player, but I went up to him, but I had my phone accidentally on the video setting. So I went and took a video. I have a very small video somewhere on my cloud storage of me with the banjo player from Flogging Molly with him going, I guess it's a video now.
Well, you can always screenshot.
I just
screenshot.
That's
it,
what I did. I just screenshotted it and posted that because I didn't want the video. I wanted the picture.
But yeah, that's good stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna have to wrap this episode up. That was a really fun episode. That was a really crazy episode. That was a really
super fun.
Revealing
This was
episode.
great. Thank you, Jackson Stad, for coming on here on the Odd Drunk Podcast.
Get ready for the next episode. Who knows what it's gonna be?
We know what it's gonna be. We're gonna be covering E3.
We are gonna be covering
which is
E3,
coming
the video game thing.
The weekend right after this comes out, we're gonna be covering that.
But we could record another one with you that comes out at a different point because that's how recording works.
Yeah. Exactly.
So get ready for E3 video games.
E3 video games.
Get
we'll
back
be covering
to video
that.
games. Yeah.
Yeah. But we don't have to record episodes in order.
Everyone say their
That's the
goodbyes.
beauty.
Say your goodbyes. Say it.
Goodbye.
That's a good goodbye.
That was a really
It was very.
Well, you said say.
That was like a serious goodbye.
Any last remarks?
Any last words?
My last remarks are: you two are actually better in person than on tape.
Than on air.
Oh, well,
thank you very much.
Yes.
My last remarks is adios amigos. Yolanda Escuela. Wait, that means school. But anyways, we'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Keep on rocking. Keep on dad rocking. But most importantly, follow and like and subscribe to the Odd Drunk Podcast. Listen to us, download us, and we will see you. And Colton?
See you next week. We'll roll the outro.
Do that outro. It's a good one.
This is not a test. I repeat, this is not a test. The Odd Drunk Podcast recommends that you follow their Instagram and join their Facebook group for more fun content. To view all of our current available streaming and social media platforms, visit our Linktree in the description below. If you enjoy the show, it would be appreciated if you leave us a rating or a review on Apple Podcasts. Okay, Colton, you can roll the outro now.